Welcome back to the Metrunner Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It is March. The music's probably still too loud. It's probably getting there. Likely fixed. And like that, it was gone, as if it were never there at all. It is March 17th. It is 2 holidays today, as far as I know. It's St. Patrick's Day. That's one of them. I'll be honest. I don't fully understand what St. Patrick's Day is. Is it a Christian thing? Because it seems, yeah, I know it's an Irish thing. That's all I got. It's also Perm, which is another, I guess, drinking based holiday. Weird how those all end up in March. March has a lot going on for it. CS, how's it going? Yo, Yusengren, how you doing as well? Welcome. I just saw really quickly, Yusengren, you responded about Trash or Bust though. Yo, I'm still into it. I still operate it. I know the votes are going up and up and up, and they're getting to a point where I agree with them, which is, I think, the most important part. And it's not just because it's only been me voting. It's not just because of that. That helps, but it's not. Paul, how you doing as well? How's everyone's week? Is it a wild Thursday anywhere? Is anybody doing stuff? It's like really pleasant outside right now. Like people were walking for fun, for sport. Considering it's technically still winter around here, I think it's quite nice. But I'm assuming downtown people are like painting the river green and getting wasted in public. I think that's what you do. I really never understood this one. Boston Pride. We got the deck list of the week. This is actually close to La Roche's deck that he posted. This is Steven's deck, and I'm actually really into it. It looks like just good stuff with like a little spice onto it, which is like something I'm pretty easily sold on. It's just like, oh, here's some good fundamentals, and then maybe you can have some really spicy, nice stuff. So we have like the Maw. We have the Rebirth in Hoshiko, which is kind of nice. You got a Begalter there in Anarch. Interesting. You have Buzzsaw and Paperclip, 2 fixed strength breakers, 1 fixed strength breaker, excuse me. And then you got 3 Botulus and some Rezekis. A lot of MU, but we do have Maw, which is a 2 MU console. So I think we're gonna have something good here. Owen, how's it going? Good evening. Andre, howdy chat. How's it going, Owen? Yeah, Sword Bear. Hey, Andre, been a few weeks. How's your Elden Ring been going? It's been going well. It's hard to talk about this game without because spoilers, because you don't know where, like, you don't want to spoil things for people, and then you also are not sure which way people are going because of the non-linearity of the whole endeavor. I know, like, today or yesterday they did a bunch of patches that like kind of ironed out, if not entirely squashed, some of the like more creative and powerful ways to play the game. And so people working on their no-hit runs are going to have a bit of an issue. We played like maybe only 4 or 5 hours this week on like a Saturday night or a Friday night or something. It has been good so far. I think we've fallen a couple bosses. I keep finding bosses that aren't like have no relevance to the story and don't give you any items, and so I don't know why I'm doing them, but it's happening. Nothing has been like too difficult so far. I think the hardest thing was we ran into Margit, but then we came back later. But I don't think we've been stuck on any walls yet. As long as nobody runs Gatekeeper DNA Tracker. Yeah, I think so. We have some changes to this deck. This is going to be an issue if we run into Gatekeeper DNA Tracker. Like Botulus will get you so far. We're going to run a single Leech in this deck because it kind of lines up with like the sort of game plan. You could also run Ice Carver, which helps a bit. These breakers are reasonable. They seem fine. I know what you mean. I just kind of redacted after fighting Redacted. Like, I don't know what the main path is. I'm realizing the map is like way bigger. Oh, do you know what actually happened? This actually happened, and it was really frustrating. It was like a late on a Friday night. Maddie had already fallen asleep on the couch, and I'm doing a boss I found, which is it's the same boss I've seen again. And I'm not gonna spoil it too much, but it's a boat, right? You probably know what I'm talking about. And it was kind of a long, protracted battle at this point. Like I'm doing it on the horse, which seemed like a more reasonable thing. So it's kind of like a hit and run strategy. So it's going to take you a while. And the thing keeps moving locations, and I'm chasing it. And then the game crashed to desktop. Just hung for like a minute and a half and crashed to desktop. I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to bed. That's actually the last thing that happened in Elden Ring. And that's a bit of a dampener, considering that we spent a lot of time on that boss. Rip Hoarfrost, Stomp, and Sword of Night and Flame. I don't know what Sword of Night and Flame is. Wait, is that the sword I have actually? But I know the Hoarfrost Stomp is like what people were doing on their no-hit runs and stuff. I have a really good sword. It seems way too good for what it is. Maybe look away for a second if you don't want to know what the spoiler is. I don't know what this is. I'm just going to look at it. No, I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is. It was probably behind my face. Ocean, how's it going? I have like 100 hours in Elden Ring, and at this point I have so much more left. Ooh. I've heard some really ridiculous numbers of like people spending, you know, dozens and dozens of hours and not even getting to like the first main quest boss or whatever. Burden, LTF in this deck? Yes, We're gonna get to it in a second, but actually, Steven reached out and said like what cards we'd consider changing. So we have like a very slightly different version 0.2 here that has Light the Fire in it and has a couple changes to it. It has a single leech, which makes sense with the fixed strength breakers. It takes up the Paul up and the Salsa Slum. So we'll talk about it in a second. But yeah, we're definitely going to be putting in 2 Light the Fire. This list was on 1, but then we decided to put on 2 just for testing reasons. But we're at 46 cards, so maybe we cut a Wildcat Strike. Who knows? I've had a few crashes too. It's a bummer. The sword is one of the 2 weapon arts. Oh, it has 2 weapon arts. Weird. I don't actually understand what ashes are or like what weapon arts are that well. I know if I hit L1 with a sword, it does something cool, but I'm aware that I can probably swap that. But like the thing I have is so good, I've not really wanted to. But I don't know what Ashes of War are. That game doesn't do a good job. Like I've been playing for like dozens of hours and I just found out what the physic is. Like stuff like this just happens, you know? I've had a crash every 10 hours or so. Oh, it hasn't been that bad. I think it's only hard crashed like twice, but maybe that lines up to every 10 hours or so. But it really sucks what's in a boss. I've yet to have any hard crashes. Seen some broken overtune stuff got nerfed or fixed a few days ago. Yeah, I've heard a lot of conversation about that. Thoughts so far in the booster pack cards? We're gonna be playing a bunch today. I have done my homework and we've actually pre-built 2 decks with booster cards, like a prison, an enemy deck, and then I'm actually trying Azov Station in a strategy that I think is much more salient or cogent. It's not like a fast events deck. It actually wants to kill. So we have like Neurospikes, Seamless Launches. We have Malaperts. Like it seems reasonable. We also have Armed Intimidation. Like I realize like talking about Azov, like we all talk about how Azov is a 3-2 and you can score it out. Install advance on Azov as kind of the magic, right? Because then you advance score it, then you do neuro. So like I want to play this like it's a 5-3 and we'll see how well that goes. But yeah, that's so far it. I haven't had much Netrunner games outside of what you've seen last week. So we'll get to it. I'm excited though for the cards. Seba de Bona. Hey, hi stream. Hey Andre, hope you're having a great week. I am, thank you. I'm actually felt a bit like kind of off today. I ate a very heavy dinner. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't had that most energy, but I think that comes with it. But we're doing, I hope you're doing well, Seba. Jingless, hey, stoked I get to catch a stream today. Welcome, Jingless. Hopefully you're doing well. Holy, I checked Trash or Bust it yesterday and saw 50.7k and all of a sudden it's at 56k. I'm telling you, Sengren. Trash or Busto. Trash / bust or busto dot Heroku. I'll figure it out. HerokuApp.com. Get your votes in. It matters. It's important. Ash Awards are special left trigger abilities that you can add your weapons. They also determine the stat scaling. Yeah, determine the stat scaling thing seems important, and I haven't participated in that. Because I'm not sure if I do that, whether I have to lose my left trigger ability, which is like this really nice kind of backflip sweep, which is quite good. Is there a good sacrifice for the agenda to dump in the bin when you score it? Anything. Elwin, particularly if you're going to win anything. Like, I don't think there's anything that's like particularly good. There's very few things that you want to be running in a Weyland deck. They're like, oh, I've rezzed this and it's not good anymore. Like there's a chance maybe you can run like cheap gear check ice, like a vanilla or like a white space, and then you can destroy them to the Azef and not care. But like largely if I want to score the Azef and do the 2 damage, like it's either because I need to, or I'm winning because I'm on 5 points, or hopefully they got a Neurospike. So it's a mix. I don't think there's anything that's like excitingly good. Like how in an enemy or potentially in Hakaru, there are things that you'd actually be excited to derez. I don't think there's anything you're excited to trash. You can swap them freely at any grace without losing anything. Oh, sick. Okay, cool. The other thing I don't know. I've got a great rune, and then I've gone and unlocked it by going to a thing to get this full power. But then I have to use a rune arc. I just need a YouTube what any of this stuff is, because again, I don't know. Oh, Seabass, probably because the Nisei community roundup. I think you might be right. Nisei does do the roundup, and Trasher Busta shows up here. So there's a chance that a lot of people got involved in this. I don't know if y'all see this, by the way. Nisei, I think very consistently every week, basically writes a write-up of what's going on. So if you're not on, I don't know, r/Netrunner is usually where I see what's going on, or I guess on Discords, there's like stuff going on. So where they shout out the Retromancer, they did a podcast about the new cards. San Francisco is doing some streaming. Metropolitan Grid, you know what that is. Sengren deep dives in the booster pack here. So there's a chance that, yeah, it got shouted out here with a nice link. Yeah, that's a good idea. Catherine, how's it going? Rune arcs activate the ability of a great rune, but for how long? And what is the ability? Because I got one and it just says increase your stats. Like, is it for a really long time? Is it worth doing? Because I don't have many rune arcs. Like, I'm one of those people that has issues with consumables in video games, and there's no way that correlates or translates to anything into the real world. It's unlikely. But you know that the sort of like end game procedure where you have all these potions that you're saving for a better time, and then you end the game and you have a dragon's horde. That's me. Like, I'm never gonna use them. I'm literally never gonna use them. Because I'm gonna be like, oh, well, I guess I'll do, but it's like using humanities in original Dark Souls games. It's like, in theory, I should do them, but I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. Rune increases all your stats by 5? I don't even know like what the value of that is, but that's probably good considering how many runes it would take me to get to that level. Until you die. Well, that's the issue. There's some good starting Elden Ring guides. I recommend Iron Pineapple. Okay, I'll check that out. I should put out a little video and do something. I can't believe, Sengrin, that there's... Okay, wait, this is going to sound disrespectful. I can't believe you haven't put out a video about it. If you, I don't think you have. Excuse me if you did. But the tracking is something I know I talked to you about. But I'd love to see the data over time to see like what it takes for things to normalize and what changes and what accelerates. Because the results of Treasure Bust are getting closer to what I think. You know, what I think a lot of people agree are the singularity point. It's a free +5 in each stat. It's kind of like a free 40 levels, to be honest. But yeah, I'd save it for a boss fight that you know well enough to get nearly there, but need a little oomph. Yeah, that's a situation that I find myself in. But like every time that I'm going into a boss fight and think like, oh, I need a little oomph, it's like, I'll be like, next time. Like if I fail this one, maybe I'll consider it. And then I hate the idea of using a consumable and then losing. Because then you're back twice. Huh. It can be tough, but they're strong. If you get them doing any multiplayer stuff, like helping others with bosses, rune arcs, that is. I know you can farm them off rats, but like, if there's any video game that tells me I have to farm something, I'm not playing that video game. Because I'm not going to, like, you only have so many hours, you know? Yeah, I went again. We're talking Elden Ring. We're talking Elden Ring. My fundamental understanding. Understanding? What is the word for that? Yeah. I just ran through all my rune arcs, but to be honest, I don't regret it. They were super great. I wish Bert and I could live like you. I wish I could drink all the potions before I went into the battle. I don't know if I said hi, Arctran. How's it going? Yo, Pouch, how's it going? I finally played in person with the booster cards. Like the Fire and PD was rough. For the PD, I take it. Maybe that's what the people want. I don't really know what to make a video that's just clicking. Singer, I think if you just put a video out explaining what trash or busting is, I think like that's probably good enough. I reckon, just so more people know what's going on, because like I don't know how you advertised it. You like messaged me about it. I saw it on Reddit. Got any ideas for standard decks that can make the most use of Light the Fire? I was thinking about this last night, and let us lay down some beats, and you tell me if I'm a lunatic, okay? Let's see how far into the breach we've gone on this. Light the Fire. As we talked about last week, I think this card is quite good. I think it's really, really quite strong. The basic idea is that this is on the table, your defensive upgrades are kind of useless, and then you have to bait the runner into running them. It then makes other things really awkward, like NGO Front, Spin Doctor, very ubiquitous cards. But the idea is that there's a lot of decks, specifically also in the startup format, that use defensive upgrades to protect their agendas, right? Like that's just kind of how the majority of the format is going, for better or for worse. Now, you put a Light the Fire down on the table, and it has a big idea of how your opponent plays. But the issue is they kind of want to bait this out so that you use this on something that maybe isn't an agenda. And so I was thinking, like, what are ways to mitigate these? And, like, there's some pretty obvious ones, right? Like, falsified credentials is great. Falsified credentials, you can expose a card, and then you can figure out whether you need to pop your what's it called, run, your Light the Fire run. And this is good. I think everyone maybe saw this coming, but this is where we're going now. What? Like, I honestly think that this might be probably too much. We're bringing too many guns to a knife fight, but like, what do you do? Right? Like, the beauty of Light the Fire is that they don't know what to do. And as soon as you install a councilman, they basically if you run the remote server without Light the Fire, they can't res their shit. So you're basically forcing your opponent to pre-res their stuff twice. And then you know to use the Light the Fire, because the magic is that if you have a councilman and Light the Fire, you never have to use Light the Fire, which admittedly is a bit backwards because you want to use Light the Fire because it trashes things for free. Like, that's a good effect. But if you put a councilman down and a Light the Fire, like, now there's in some cases a no-win scenario, because it'd be like, okay, well, I do have technically like a Managarm's Skunkworks, and I want them to pop it to trash the Managarm's Skunkworks. But if they don't pop it, like, then I can still res the Managarm. You know what I mean? You're Sangren, you're buying what you're picking up what I'm putting down, right? Like, this puts a really awkward condition on your opponent. Like, they have to pre-res the thing, and then if they pre-res the thing, you know you can use it. You know what I mean? It's weird. Hey, Gwen, how's it going? Welcome. Definitely not gonna put that together. But now you're playing Councilman. But Sads, I think that playing Councilman is like not the worst thing ever. Councilman was a lot better when you could play it at instant speed, but it's like not the worst card. It's better in certain matchups. It was really good back in the day with like Jackson Howard, because you could deny Jackson Howard. The issue with Spin Doctor is they still get it like double res it for 2, but you can deny the Spin Doctor to some extent. Not really well. So it's not the best, but like you can do some really wild stuff here. Like you can really control the game. Just got my 4 wisdom teeth out this morning. Had to be done. My face hurts. Yo, how drugged up are you? Are you okay? I don't remember getting my wisdom teeth out, if you know what I mean. It was a day. I was playing Rotom's List. It's also a Geisty Az deck. Rotom's World List. Pouch, I don't know. Rotom played Az? I played Councilman instead of Paul up in Worlds because of Influence. Won a game with it. Yo, Mon, how's it going? Welcome. This is not the worst card, but like honestly, if like this is the thing that I don't think this is necessary. Like I think this is like the nuclear options of sorts. But the idea is that if the meta still contains a lot of defensive upgrades because they're still good, and if the like a lot of things have to line up like this, like Start the Fire has to be good that people are playing it, but defensive upgrades still have to be good enough in a Start the Fire meta for people to play them as well. But I'm saying these two cards have a pretty interesting synergy that makes it very difficult for your opponent to play and lets you juice more value out of your Start the Fire. Light the Fire. I don't actually know what it is anymore. It's going to be a problem. I think it's Light the Fire. Not confident. It's going okay. Been doing a lot of world building writing today. I've been designing the music and cuisines of my fictional cultures. What are we playing today? It's lit. Firstly, that's really cool. In terms of designing the cuisine specifically, are you using ingredients that are also fictional, or are you trying to like generate with things that are more, you know, that maybe you or I would know, or specifically I would know, because I guess you know your stuff. It's only 2 credits to res Managarm, so it's not super crazy, but it's not the res cost infusion. It's not that. It's the fact that they can't choose to res the Managarm while you're running the remote server. They have to res it and eat the Councilman. Wait, maybe you're right to some extent. But the idea is that they have to commit to, oh, I guess they just res it and then you de-res it, but no, then you don't de-res it. Like, this is the thing. So they have a Managarm Skunkworks in the remote server, right? And you have a Light the Fire on the table. Start the Fire. We still don't know. So the idea is that if you run the remote server just regularly, they can res the Managarm and you have to deal with it, okay? So you want to basically force them to res this thing so you can use the Light the Fire. So you're in this weird situation, and I don't think it's perfect, but the idea is that if they want to res their Managarm on your turn, they have to commit to resing it on their own turn sometime prior. Now, if they do that, you can either decide to not use the Councilman and just Light the Fire, or use the Councilman and then you don't have to use the Light the Fire. Oh, that's actually not true, the second part, but the first part is true. Yeah, I think we might have gone too far on this one, but I think it's interesting. I was playing Rotom's PD versus the Geisty Az with LTF, and I got crushed. Oof. Okay, yeah, I think the Light the Fires could do work, and it has a trash can on it, right? Let's go. Anyways, this is interesting. Real quick though, we're gonna have the deck list of the week. This is again Steven's deck. Begot Mods better than Stargate. Come on, thinking the king. That's a common thinking. It says, "Come on, the king." You know it. Begot is a 0 MU 3 cost boss. So the idea with this deck is it's going to be disruptive. We have a good value engine. We have very cheap down to the ground breakers. We have a very good just Anarch Econ engine. And instead of going for like a Stargate and going for these like very powerful single runs, we're going for a single targeted run somewhere else. Basically, if we run HQ, we have a lot of cascading triggers on top of themselves. Firstly, we have Maw. We saw Maw do an immense amount of work, specifically at the Worlds meta, where there was a lot of like horizontal decks, a lot of combo decks to some extent, controlling the message. Really struggles against this card. But you're running HQ, you're getting a Maw trigger, you're getting the Begot trigger, and this deck really wants to show that Begot is quite good. It's a pseudo Stargate without revealing, and it's kind of random what gets off the top, but it technically is a lot of damage, potentially very strong. You have the DreamNet, you have Political Operative can come down, you have a lot of reasons why you want to be constantly running. And I think, well, I know Steven reached out and said make some changes to make that engine a bit stronger. Gwen says mostly real ingredients, but this particular cartridge hurts small mammoths. So I've got mammoth cheese and meat and stuff. Would you try an alcoholic drink made with fermented mammoth milk? Would I try it? Probably. I'm lactose intolerant, so it would probably ruin me. But if it's a mammoth, probably. That sounds like worth trying. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I would. I think I would for sure. Small mammoths sound really nice. So we made some changes to this list. Steven says that it's well positioned. It's not perfect, and there's some early tuning to be done. But just the quick changes that Steven recommended, we got a leech in there, which makes a lot of sense. It's just additional value on those like 1 per turn HQ run that we want to do, and leech works really well with Buzzsaw. Because we are going to struggle with high strength code gates, excuse me. We just do not boost the strength of this well. We have no other tricks besides the Botuli. On top of that, we have the Begalter, which does work with everything works in theory with Leech, but Begalter in theory can actually pay you out, which is quite nice. On top of that, we have dropped, I think, the Saw set in the political operative, and in this place, we also have a single turning wheel. Turning wheel is actually really good. It works exactly with that sort of value engine of running HQ once per turn to get all those triggers, and then this gives you additional value so you can cash in on R&D or HQ. It's always nice to have it just a bit more multi-access for sure. And then we added 2 Light the Fires because we want to try this card out, and it seems quite good. We're at 46 cards, so we want to cut something. There's a chance of cutting a Light the Fire is right. Again, haven't done any testing. We're just about to see how good this is. It's worth noting that these cards are now on Jinteki.net, but they're not automated, so you still have to do all the manual stuff yourself. And maybe we could cut a Wildcat Strike instead. We're on 46 cards, but I think we'll be fine. Sword Bear doing my best. Hopefully I'll get tired and be able to pass out soon. I'm really feeling better, Xran. I don't know how long it was, but I took 2 teeth out and I was out for like a couple days for sure. The automation it's in now? Oh, Narco, I believe they're now implemented as of like a few hours ago. Ooh. Ooh, implemented replay temporarily broken. I'm in on that. Okay, cool. That's really good to know. But Jane, it's a bit buggy. Okay. 15 games. There was like 7 a bit ago. Maybe they just reset the servers, but we'll do it. And real quick, we talked on stream a while ago about yo-yo tricks. And so this is Steven from the Decklist of the Week, Cliss LaRoche, who sent me this video of him doing some sick yo-yo tricks. He used to do quite competitive yo-yo stuff at some winery somewhere. I'm assuming maybe on the West Coast. That kind of looks like it. And I don't know much about yo-yoing, but I have no doubt this is quite difficult. We had a bit of a conversation about this. There's some slow-mo that kicks in a bit. But like, I have no idea how any of this stuff happens. A lot of these tricks are like fundamentals from my understanding that you build on top of other stuff, but like people actually have, it's the idea that's so impressive to me. Like if you watch silhouettes of like 2 or 3 different like professional yo-yoists, you can tell who they are by like the way they handle themselves, which makes it art like by any stretch of things, which is really cool. Anyways, so it's not just this deck. It's some sick yo-yo. I love that a lot. Okay. Let's do this. So we made some changes from Steven, so we're not violating the Decklist of the Week rule, and we'll just go ahead and copy this in. Lockstick, how's it going? Did they fix the chat? Earlier, the JNet in-game chat wasn't scrolling or showing card previews? I have no idea. We're about to find out. I'm excited to see you play. Oh, there's Steven in the chat. Yo, I'm excited to try it out as well. Nice yo-yo. Vincent, how's it going? This is a runner deck. Oh, it takes me a while. One thing that's actually not in here is better than Stargate is like the idea maybe like Steven, do we also consider putting in, and I know it's a value engine thing, but the same sort of like run HQ once per turn, like should we become Steve Cambridge with DJ Fenris at some point? Oshiko. Good. Nah. I'm sure I'll be feeling much better tomorrow or the next day. That's good to hear. Not enough targets. Oh, just like not enough. Does it even matter though? It's not enough events is the issue. Because like I understand how some people might be a bit reticent to play Steve if they don't have a lot of like doubles, like copies of the same card twice over. But I think it's just a free card draw. It doesn't matter what you get. But I hear you. It's not too event heavy. Like you install your Rozekis, you install a lot of your stuff. A lot of your values attached to like 15 resources that are semi-permanent. I think so. Give it a shot though. I know when I play Steve, I always go for events. Yeah, you largely do. But like, even if you get back pad tap, you're fine, right? Like a daily caster pad tap, I feel like, you're okay with that. It's just like a free card draw. But your opponent does control it, but hopefully they're all good cards. Cut the video for Trash Robusto. Nothing too exciting for you. But we're interested to see, and some of the YouTube audience somehow missed it. Excellent. That was fast. Damn. Hollywood magic here. Sanger, what do you use to edit together your videos? Is it just OBS and you're good to go from there? Even getting the Shrill Gamble back is fine. Getting the Shrill Gamble back is great. That's for sure. For sure, Gamble. OBS DaVinci Resolve. Ah. Back to work. Yo, Sword Bear, thanks for dropping in. Enjoy your work. I'm not too familiar with DaVinci Resolve. I knew when I was like learning, that sort of skill set. This is Gwen, right? Hey, hey. I thought DaVinci was just used for color grading, but I know that's not at all correct. Glimpse for thumbnails. Yo, am I the only weirdo? So like, I think I've said this before, but I do not know Photoshop very well. So I do all my thumbnails in After Effects and then export a PNG from there because I can't figure it out. All right, so we have Earth Station, or sorry, wow, Built to Last, which could be quite fast. It could be fast advance. We're having advanceable ice. We don't have any ice destruction. I think on our opening hand, 2 light defiers doesn't make too much sense. It's possible that there's a Managarm or a Malapur or something like that in here, which we could get some value. But I feel like with Rozekis, with DreamNet, there's a bit more like rolling economy we want to get down. Pat Type is really good though, because it can trigger very consistently off Built to Last stability. They generally advance 1 thing a turn. But we'll go ahead and mulligan that. That seems better. By a mile. Let's see if they're trying to ASF us or trying to kill us. Like, it's really good that we just keep an IFAD worse in hand. Is the Torb video just a campaign for Euler? Yeah, that's loads better. That's much, much, much better. Resolve is a pain, but I don't really want to pay for better things. But also my frame of reference is Adobe Studio circa like 2009/10. Yeah, I'm paying for an Adobe license now out of pocket. Yeah, it's not as cheap as you'd like it to be. All right. Did she mulligan? She kept. Okay. So we can set up here. We don't have to do anything too fast. Again, I kind of like keeping the IVAD worse in hand. We're assuming there's mouseless. I'm worried that there might be some ASF protocol. I think this turn we could just set up on economy. Because again, I'm assuming this is fast advance to a large extent, but it could still be, like hard-hitting news, Weyland sort of stuff. Because that is still a very strong win condition. So we could just play it a bit slower here. We could do daily cast, sure gamble, liberate to hit a daily cast. We can't run archives to turn on Hoshiko, but we could just go ahead and do all this stuff. There's a chance that one of these is too greedy. We could have drawn once there. Sail the high seas? What do you mean? Remote server? We have access to Botulus, so we could consider running this. A single advance. Could just be them trying to kill us with the slow roll of that Weyland kill thing I never remember. Ahoy, mate, if you catch my drift. I don't think I do. Oh, I see. I see what you. Yes, I got it now. Okay, I'm gonna IVAD worse here. We have a second one, which is good. We can just Botulus this and run it. 3 cards in hand. We can hit the mouseless damage easily. The question is whether we want to hit liberated counts first or last. If we, oh no, that's not it. Whoa, whoops. We do not want to run that server. We want to run this server. I think we just want to run here and force. Could easily be an NGO front. It's not cat. We can get through that. They can get an advancement. An SDS drone deployment will be fine because we can get the Botulus. Sometimes it's worth pushing a 5-3 behind this because if they face check into it. So we're going to break the end of the run. So they can get a credit and place an advancement, which doesn't give them the Weyland Built to Last trigger because they don't advance a card. They place an advancement. All right. Let's see what it's here. NGO could be popped. We have 3 credits, so we can trash, again, what's that Weyland card that does damage? We can trash reversed as well. It is above the law. Ooh. That could have done a bit of damage. We're kind of set up to deal with this here. I'm just going to hit a liberated accounts here. We're safe to punitive, not only because of credits, but I've had worse. But that's the 3-2. Definitely good to get. Clearinghouse, that's it, Ren. Yeah. Clearinghouse. Install double advance? I don't know. We're just jamming into here over and over again. Like, are we getting Urticud? I feel like we're okay to get Urticud. How many buzzsaws do we have? 2, and we have no recursion. I think we can get Urticud. Between Botchels and Boomerang, it's really a gamble to try and push the agenda behind a single ice so early. I think so, yeah. I would be a bit wary of it. I don't know if they know the deck list too well. She might have seen it. We did talk about it. But yeah, it's really hard in this deck specifically. We didn't draw a lot on turn 1, though. I wonder why single advance? It gets them the most value in theory. I think they thought that cat would hold. Okay, so if we run this, there could be a 3 advance, which would do 5 damage. So I think we're just going to I've had worse here. That's our only big altar. So if we lose that to damage, if this is, what's it called, it'll be a problem. It could be just an NGO front. I'm okay with them getting an advancement and a credit. But if this is an Urtica specifically and it hits our big altar, like then it's a bit awkward. I just don't know why they would jam behind this. Like this seems like an NGO front or something. I'm a sucker sometimes. Playing it instead of drawing? Sorry? Want to run with 4 credits to clear the Vladis in case? Oh, you're right. But I don't think it can. Oh, because it's implemented now. Yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah, 4 credits would be good to clear out the Validus burst. That's a good point. Yeah, scroll is broken. I have to be scrolling it. It is an NGO front. That's okay. So we'll just take our credits to make sure that we're not too easy to be hard-hitting news, and we'll just play a pad tap, I reckon. We could have considered putting that down before. It would have got a credit off either the cat or a potential NGO front. We didn't access a card, so we flipped back. Yeah, the scroll is going to be a bit frustrating. We'll just have to keep auto-scrolling it. They trashed it. That's good. And hedge fund. Okay. All right, 15 credits. Can't res an archer. I'm expecting an Aket here. We could just eat the Aket for 2 credits. I think that's actually probably fine. We could play the Buzzsaw and run it. Trash program subroutine, net damage subroutines would be issue. That would be a mouseless sniping our one of Bagalter. As soon as we play the Bagalter, though, then we actually have to worry about trash program subroutines, so I don't love it. I feel like at this point we could just set up a bit. They're not doing anything too quickly. We have a boomerang. I think we play liberated. Yeah, we'll put the Bagalter down. It's fine. I like putting down a hippo to some extent. It makes this cat a bit scary. Like a bit more worry, but we want to trash something bigger than that because eventually we get through this for pennies if they don't advance it. I feel like we should have planned this turn out a bit better. I guess we'll draw, but again, you plan your turn out better than that, please. We'll just put down another one. We didn't run, so we can't really get punished for like hard hitting news because we didn't make a successful run. We didn't run at all. And now they have to figure out how to score out behind an cat. That's obviously a good start. We want to keep drawing so that we can get into our paperclip. We have 2 of. We do have the boomerang though, so we could consider running this. They didn't advance it, which is a bit sus, but we could just boomerang here. We could even consider hippo. I think we just do boomerang, liberated, run it. Just try and keep them honest on their remote server. Sorry for the auto scroll. Oh, there's a mouseless. Okay. So those are hard for us to break, just in general. They're not going to be easy for us at all. So we can do the net damage on the tag. They can get the credit from that. Again, pat taps. Eventually we can abuse that. We would, in theory, want to trash all the subroutines to the hippo. That's a good hippo target. The issue is that it costs us 3, 6, 7, 8 credits. So not anytime soon. And I'm going to break all the subroutines. So Rashida, we'll trash that. We access the card, so we're going to turn on Hoshiko. We could have considered putting on DreamNet now down there too. I'm just going to take the money again. We want to watch out that we don't die to something. But there's a chances, again, this is trickle light or fast advance, so we want to start putting pressure on HQ at some point. I reckon we'll put down DreamNet and just run HQ next turn. We flip. We're going to draw a card, lose credit. We got 15 and a link. Ooh. Yeah, now we really need pressure centrals because we're going to lose our grip on this remote server pretty soon. In fact, if we haven't already. Okay, cool. Yeah, so Bagada's 1 in 33. But again, maybe they have the remote server, but we want to just be able to pressure draw here. So we'll put down the DreamNet. I guess we'll put this down too. The issue is that we can't hippo anything on HQ. If this is an Afshar, we can't hippo it because we can't break all the subroutines if it's on HQ. So I'm going to keep the hippo in hand. Yeah, there's an Afshar. So we get through this for 3 credits, which is not the worst. Can only break 1 of these. So we're going to pay 2 from pocket, 1 from hand. And this is likely to be an agenda. We have the above the law, which is the one that really punishes us. We have to make sure we keep at least 2 cards in hand. If we see, ooh, that's good. It's quite good. We got our full DreamNet trigger. Better than Black Orchestra on this? Yes, by a huge margin. But I think a lot of times you Yamaku with this. But yeah, Buzzsaw, it's just, this is the issue. It's like stuff like this. And we have the Maw, which is really quite good, so that we just want to continue the pressure. So every turn we run HQ, we'll get a card and a credit. We'll get the Maw trigger, hopefully. Eventually we'll draw into something good. What was that? Oh, it's an Atlas. They scored out. Okay. So they scored that out cheaply. Pretty good. Dirty Laundry. So we can get this down for 6. Yeah, I think we just want to do max damage. We'll bite the bullet here. We have to hit this button. Run HQ. Continue encounter. We can't break all subs. Still only the second one. And then we're through. We're going to make 5 credits. A 6 credit, a card draw, and probably a random damage. NGO front. This cares if we don't trash? We want to trash that for sure. The money's not good. So we lose out on that value, but we do have a pad tab, which is quite good because they're only on 5 credits. They can't afford to trash this, I don't think. And this is where, like, obviously DJ Finish would be good. Like, even if we just pick, you know, 2 I've had worse, Sure Gamble or Dirty Laundry, like, it's fine. The question is whether she can just keep jamming in the remote server. We got our Pad Tap buck. So we just need to lock the top of our ID or HQ, which is a bit tricky. It's going to be a bit hard. Well, can we afford to run HQ every time for 3 credits? I guess it's only 2 credits and we get a damage. Yeah, I feel like that's fine. But they have to jam out here. We saw 2 NGO fronts. I'm just worried we're going to, like, die to, Wait, it actually says for 3, go through it? Like, it understands the subroutines? Keep stealing. Damn it. We're on 5 agenda points. If we run R&D, Tithonium is the only real issue. Well, we don't have enough money. Archer actually would be a problem at some point. I think next turn we would on to overclock HQ. We could consider overclocking HQ here, actually, just to make sure we get maw value. I feel like 2 cards in hand, that's probably fine. Because we haven't got maw value. Oh, that's add 1 strength. I thought it was completely break for 3 credits, which is technically correct. Because we can pay the 2 off of this. Wait, we lost it from that? We can't choose to pay from here? Is that true? It's lose? Oh, I guess we're not spending it. Ah, damn it. Okay, value. Just kidding. We don't get another mod trigger. Now we're destitute. We'll draw once. Click up. Losing credits done for the credit pool. I didn't realize that. Okay, cool. I thought I could lose from there. Just like, I don't know. Off-world office. Nice score. Dang. We get our trigger for Pad Tap, but there's a lot of agendas out of the game. 2, 4, 6. Wait, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9? That's nearly half the deck. Paladin Puemo is quite good. We have another Pad Tap in hand. Again, I would love to hippo this if we could. That's a really good score from hand. We're just going to keep running HQ. Yes. So Toll Booth 2, you can't use off overclock, huh? I thought you could use Stim Hack on Toll Booth. It's a border control? Okay. So we'll trash a random card. So they kept a border control in hand. Oh, Toll Booth is pay. Oh, so it's different than lose. For sure. Okay. They advanced this once. Okay. So at this point, money is not good. We milled a random card. I don't think we knew what it is. So we could play a second Pad Tap. It's likely to trigger. We could play the Paladin Puemo from here. I feel like we need to click for credit and maybe play the Puemo. Again, we're getting a card in credit. We're losing a credit. But we're getting a card at the beginning of return. That's probably the border control, which if we hit the border control, they gain 2 credits, we gain 2 credits. Sometimes worth just hitting it. We also have a boomerang in hand. They're trashing the Pad Tap. Wow, okay. That slows the game down for everyone. Oh, Dirty Laundry's nice. I think actually we could consider Dirty Laundry Archives. For 4 credits on R&D, it's as an advanceable ice, it's very likely they can res it. I think the only advanceable ice... Okay, there's a couple they couldn't res. Like all of the Asteroid Ice, Pharos, but like it's likely to be a Knockette, a Misfingo, Mouseless, or Hordem. A Colossus they can't run. We'll just go Archives here. We don't get a mod trigger. It's weird for liking Yogg design over Buzzsaw. Am I weird? No. I think this is a bit more reasonable. Oh, that's really good. A Leech is gonna help. Yeah, Mouse is very likely. So we actually want to get that down for sure. With the Paladin Puemo, it's quite easy to do that. At this point, I don't know if we just run Archives. I think we'll draw once. Okay. Yeah, we'll install it. They might have CVS in their deck considering they're running Sandbox, but it looks like they're just very on value agendas. We'll just run Archives. Again, these are worth something. We're going to have to go through 5 strength thing, but now we're at the point where we're contesting the remote server again. Oh, wait, did we click for credit? No, I was meant to put down the boomerang. I thought we had another click in us. Shit. Yeah, the boomerang was definitely meant to come down. Yogg I think is nicer design for runners, but a bit more restricting. The fact that it's 0 just means like low strength Codiates are really uninteresting. Like 1 is okay. Like you'd still consider like resing a card to cost them 1, but 0? Garbage. Yeah, this is where the Pad Tap would have been good. Another Hippo, okay. So if we run Archives, we could run the remote server. The question is whether we get through this. If they res this and they don't make their money back off of something like a border control, like we can just consider hammering R&D, which would get maw triggers as well. So, I mean, sticking to the total game design space, yeah, totally. There's a lot of code gates back in the day that people are just like, I'm not interested. It has 3 on it. Like it's not worth playing. Guys, drew some love. Like fun housekeeping. How's it going? Thank you for that. So we'd have to boomerang this. So like we could run archives, get a leech token, boomerang this run. That's probably okay. I guess we'll start with run archives because we draw a card anyways and gain a credit. Paperclip is what we'll likely need for this. If we boomerang this, there's a chance. If they have a border control, can we get through this twice? Largely. We don't have the pad tap down, which is so... Wait, did we have a pad tap? Why was I convinced we had a pad tap last turn? Enigma in every Worlds deck? Yeah, I know. I feel like they're trying to jam behind the remote. It looks like it. Okay, it's a Nugget. That's good. Boomerang that. We played all our pad taps? Did I miss something? Did I look at a boomerang and think it was a pad tap? So give it down to strength. Will we break both subs? If it's a Vlodisibrisc, we need 4, so I'm going to break 2 subs. They can gain a credit, I reckon. On 3 credits, they could consider running the ice on R&D, but if they do, I don't think it's the worst for us. But keeping for Vlodisibrisc seems important. Combo's the last week's stream of VOD. Dude, we could have been talking about too many bones this entire time. I know! Yo, I just ordered like a bunch more of it, and it's coming from Toronto, and it said it would be here a couple days ago, but it was a goof on the FedEx. I'm so stoked. I was told that you really care about too many bones. I ordered basically like I got Gilly and Nugget, which I didn't have, and I got 40 Days in Daylore, and I wasn't that excited about it. How fiddly is it? What's it called? Excuse me. What am I trying to say? The Splice and Dice, excuse me. The Splice and Dice like alternate game looks not interesting. Okay, that's good. That'll do it. Hey, good game. Yo, that's a lot of agendas in the top 24 cards. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 agendas in the top like 20 cards. That's a bit higher than average. Thanks, you too. Hey, thanks, you too. Quandary and bigger Quandary? Yo, you don't play what's it called? Conundrum? That's even bigger Quandary. What do we have less in our deck? Turning Wheel would have been nice. We don't have a lot of ways to deal with this Afshar. Like, we just have to hold on. We would rebirth, like, definitely we'd rebirth if we drew it into Omar. I think we would discard our digital trade and our free card draw just to be able to pressure HQ. Again, we have Maw. We didn't get the Bagat. I don't think we would have this game. The Light Defiers didn't look good in this matchup. I actually didn't see anything that it would have been relevant on. Actually, the NGO fronts would have been relevant on. It would be interesting to see if we installed them, whether they popped the NGO fronts. But by the time we saw it, 2 NGO fronts were out. So, not the best. Nugget's awesome. Gonna order Splice and Dice, Gilly, Tink, and Gasket soon. Okay, let me tell you about this. I talked about this last week that I thought MPI did it wrong talking about Tink. Tink is really cool. Tink is not a tank. Tink is a summoner. I've been told that Nugget and Gilly are a bit overtuned, but they seem really flexible, especially for solo, if you're playing like true solo. But Gasket like is, I think, by far the most fun. How do we talk about Gasket? Too Many Bones is like this RPG kind of game where you have a character and the character has skills, and the skills are represented by dice. So if you want to use the skill, it's generally a one-time use most of the time. You roll a die and then you can choose to use the result. And if not, it goes back on your mat and you can roll it later. And Gasket breaks that rule. Firstly, none of their dice exhaust themselves. So you basically are re-rolling the same things over and over again, but they have a real cost attached to them because you're this like mech tank, a hydro mech that is leaking water. So every time that you use your skills, you have to spend water. And if you run out of water, it's a problem. But on top of that, a really fun thing is that they have a whole skill set called directives because it's a robot, right? And if you roll your directives, you have to use them. You're not able to refuse to use them. And you have to use all the directives you rolled in sequence. And the thing is, like, the directives have good sides on them, but some of the sides are just move. And it forces you to play like like a programming game where you misprogrammed. You're like, oh shit, at some point in my turn, I have to move to a space I haven't been on. And it totally goofs things up. Dowjin, good evening, y'all. Is JNet still glitchy? You just showed up and said that, and then it crashed to black. So yeah, maybe. Just maybe. Maybe 2x Bagat? I don't know, maybe? It's like, it's a weird card, obviously, but it's potentially powerful. Maybe it's worth it. This is not great. I've absolutely used Conundrum as anti-AI ice in a deck. I've like, I hear you. Oh, that's not good. I hear you about the issue is like if I want to spend 8 credits on an ice, I'd rather it like, you know, Anansi just does well enough generally, or like, you know, every faction had a good enough ice that didn't need it. But oh, hey. Yeah, kicked me out. We're back now. Yeah, okay, that looks good. 1x is fine, just get lucky. I came way too late for that. Conundrum seems like it was designed for exclusively hate on Yogg Atman combo. It was way late for that, if that's the case. Opening hand, we're against Jinteki Restoring Humanity, which could just be straight damage. They're playing flat 40 cards, so like it's hard to tell. If it's straight damage, having Turning Wheel is okay. Having Paladin early is okay because it's one of the economy cards that like gets value over the whole game, which is quite nice. Pat Tap is like relevant into their trigger, but this is one of the few matchups where like not having Stargate specifically can be quite painful, because it's really good in these sort of matchups. Yeah, versus 2 credits and 1 influencer IP block. Yeah, there's just better ways to do AI hate. And then if you want to play a very expensive one, and that's a really good card if they're like dependent on AI. Again, there's just better cards. All right. Anemone could do 3 damage on the face check. Predictive an early jam here for a Sting is an issue a lot of times. They got the credit from Restoring Humanity. We could just Dirty Laundry HQ. I'm not too excited about like playing cards that we don't exactly need in the matchup. So I think we can just play the Turning Wheel, run HQ. Like this is gonna be the threat until they like hit it with Sadaka. It's a Rashida. Okay. I think we just go a bit slow here. Like if they score out, I don't know what, like it has to be a second Rashida, because what do you jam that's more important than Rashida besides Rashida? I'll just play Pat Tap, I guess. Yeah, it's another Rashida, right? Like that's the only card that beats Rashida in the server 1 on turn 1. It's Rashida. It's just so evenly matched. We got a Pat Tap off of that. This triggers at the end of their turn too, not on our turn, so it's not like Paulina, which will Pat Tap twice. Do you want something to paste in the console and maybe fix the chat scroll? Is there something that does that, Kyle? Ah, shit. Okay, this is where we really need Stargate, because this is a Mwanza list. So the most important thing we can do is get our credits up. Mwanza is like, it took the place of Red Planet Couriers, and now it became Mwanza, where I really don't like Mwanza now. There's no way for us to interact with it. So the basic idea is that they're going to jam on the table and they're going to neurospike us. Luckily, we do have 2 light the fires to deal with that sort of strategy, but we have no way of running centrals now. So we're not going to be able to get begot, because if we run HQ, we're going to take like 2 snares. It's going to be a 15 credit swing. We just can't do anything. So we're basically just going to play light the fire control remote, for better or for worse. So I'll DM you on Slack. Okay. Slack software. Oh, on Slack. Yeah, I don't actually, shit. Where do I paste this? Game. It's also 40 cards. Yeah, totally. I think we played against Sage playing this exact thing a week ago, maybe not, in the dev console. I'm gonna hit tilde and hope it does something. Can we just rip one off the top of R&D? I guess we could get lucky. Like Obokata. Their deck is 3 Obokata, 3 Bacterial. If we hit a Bacterial, that's the issue. Like we basically lose to Punitive. So we can't really do that. So we need to get breakers and we need to get light the fire. Okay. We'll play this, put down Paladin, and do nothing really. F12 and Chrome. Start recording. Oh, you said Chrome. You've taunted me. Okay, the issue is I don't have access to Slack here because I don't have the Slack desktop client. Like this is where you play close. This is where you play a Stargate, right? Laundry or saving hit points. I'm not saving hit points. The issue is like if they score out an agenda, we're gonna get punitive to death. Like we just don't have the credit lead. We could consider laundering R&D here, and then we could do liberate, and like just hope that they don't have all the punitives together. But if they hit a Bacterial, the chance of them hitting the punitive is good. Light the fire doesn't work on centrals though, so you can't use it to disarm Wanza. No, I want to light the fire, the agenda that they're going to neurospike us with. Like that's the idea. Oh fuck. True chat, fix for chat, put your video feed over it. No. We'll try and get it to work. Well, so if we now have to just draw into I've had worse or like hit the money button. So I've had worse is a 1 in 13 off of just naturally drawing it. Or we could hope that we just have more money that they can't double punitive us, which is kind of likely. Like we could just do liberated gamble and maybe we don't die. But yeah, if you hit this, like we shouldn't have interacted. Luckily heal will be on 10 credits and then we'll be on 19. So it's unlikely they'll double punitive us. You probably died hitting Oboe on top though. We don't have to steal Oboe. So now they very likely have everything that they need for the combo. So they probably have Neurospikes. They have maybe even triple punitive, which is an issue. So for any amount of punitives, like we just need to make sure we have 3 cards in hand. There's a chance that they actually Salams us for Botulus somehow, like Salams punitive, but I think that's a... no, they can't go for that line. They have to do Salams punitive, and I don't know if the math works out. We also have a link, so... If there's Oboe on top, we wouldn't have stolen it. We would just taken the turning wheel and gone. There's another Mwanza. Looks like we survive. Don't know what this stuff is. Spin Doctor, Snare. Hey, Parallel, how's it going? Welcome. I'm not actually sure what this is. We've seen 2 Rashidai. Urticas, maybe even? We gotta install something. Oh, we're discarding a card. That's actually kind of ugly. We're discarding a card here? I don't love that. I don't know how much value we're going to get off the leech. There's a chance they play Mouseless, because I don't know where they use their influence besides... maybe the Malapert they have influence for. Okay. I don't know. I don't like Mwanza. It's a card that, like, it's very, very, very difficult to interact to work with, and it just encourages non-interactive games. Like, now we're hoping that their 40 card deck like mills them, but like if we can light the fire this, the problem is we need breakers. So the best thing we can do is just like hoard I've had worse, like again, like a dragon. If we run any of these and there's like, the issue now is that they can maybe score out, like score this and then score something else out on the table. I'm kind of interested in running one of these. Like snares are probably on the table because we're not running centrals. I don't know. Running archives seems okay. I'd consider running archives. It turns our ability on. We'll see what's in here. I don't think they're on news teams. This will probably force the Jackson off the table. Yeah, there you go. Interesting enough, if we play a light the fire, like maybe they pre-res Jacksons. So it was a Spin Doctor. They threw out a snare. We haven't seen a punitive. We've seen a government subsidy and then a Nancy. We now have turned on our ability. This chunk is why I run no one home in my Steve list. Yeah. I'm worried that they're on our clock down, but again, 40 cards. Like we just want to hit I've had worses. Maw could matter, but again, then we have to run centrals. So not in love with it. But Maw was actually a huge issue. We could like tilt and go Maw and then like try and hit their Neurospikes from hand. But if we can survive the Neurospike, we'll be fine. There's just an issue that if they have Salams into Neurospike, then we're in a really bad spot. Especially if we hoard Salamses. But like 12 cards. What about if they need those extra cards here? We're also technically on like not pseudo game point. Like at some point it's risky for them to Mwanza because we've seen 1 snare out. So if we run R&D, like we see most of R&D. Oh, they just drew 3 more. So like there's this thing where maybe like they want to set up where they can score punitive and do something on top of it. Like maybe I want to set up a turn where they can score Neurospike into punitive, but I don't think that's much better than double Neurospike. Hey, Kat, what are we playing tonight? Tonight we are playing some Azef kill decks. We also have like a Jinteki prison deck, which I know, Kat, you were repping last year to some extent. I'd love to see what you've built on that. I haven't mentioned this. I got a box from Nisei I need to open. They sent like price support, and they from the last couple tournaments. They're like, why didn't you open this on stream? I'm like, okay, that sounds nice. You gotta draw a card here. Another I've had worse. Nice. So the other thing is we could install the Maw and just like slam HQ. Do you want me to send you a list? It's not a secret anymore. Yeah, if you could. I don't know if you've anemoneed it up. Right? This is they're setting up for the Neurospike. The question is whether they have Salam's or not. And I don't know. Maybe. We've seen 3 off of the predictive. I'm assuming 3 more on Jackson. 6. This is 7. On punitives 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's a chance they have 1. Okay, no version of anemone yet. Okay. So like, I don't know. I don't know if we have to do anything. Might be a good time to go HQ with double I've had worse. I want to keep them though, because if we whiff the double I've had worse and they can do advance, or they could do like seamless into what's it called, into neuro and we die. Like I feel like I'd rather have them force them to score out than flush HQ. Right? Like they're on the clock. Spin Doctor draws cards. Like I think we'd rather just force them to have to do something while we kind of dirtle. Sim-RD, they have less control over what you access. To some extent, right? But if they hit the Mwanza and then we don't win, we'll probably die. Like, I think we can just wait for later to do that. We also want to find our Begalter. Send it to you on Discord. Thank you. I'll check that. Yeah, we can get the Begalter at some point. Okay, cat. GFI, snares, Amor, IP block, Sadaka. 3 Amor I like. Archive Memories 3X. Oh yeah, that's an old school mean thing. You're not on price sec? Unboxing stream? Yeah, it's price support stuff. So it shouldn't be like anything too fancy. So this is where they're setting up the triple Neurospike. So the question is, do we... House Hippo's list had tags. Huh. I've seen ones that have like what's it called? News team into it. Salem's Alliance, so it's 6 yellow cards is no influence. Oh shit, actually that is terrifying. You're right. They could Salem's us, and I think we lose to that. I think you're right that they're likely on Salem's. Could they have 3 I've had worse 3 predictives? So at this point, we could play the Maw. Because if they Salem's it, we die to double Neurospike. That's 100% sure. If they triple Neurospike us naturally, hopefully they hit an I've had worse. There's a chance that they don't and we just lose. But if they hit an I've had worse, right, they take 3 cards down. We're on 5 cards. So we actually could likely survive triple I've had worse. Yeah, it's because people run. It's because people run Mwanza. I don't want to run Mwanza. So now we actually have to do like big brain to figure this one out. Because there's a chance in the right play is like, if we trash one thing with Mwanza, we're fine. The issue is that we can't refuse to steal bacterial programming. We also don't have any killer, and they're on Anansi's. They're probably on Shiashi. They're definitely on Akakugo. So we could install the Maw, run HQ, and hope. They could have as much as 2 snares. If we trash the snare, we lose Hippo. If we hit a bacterial, we lose. So basically, we can hope that they're not on Salem's. I think they're likely on Salem's. If they're not on Salem's, we don't run. If they're on Salem's, we have to run. That's what it comes down to. And then we have to basically hope that we hit one of the 3, either the Salem's or... It's hard. Salma, run HQ, run HQ into Maw trigger. Salem's means we lose next turn. Yeah, Salem's means we lose. I think we just have to go for it and hope that the Maw hits something. The issue is like running R&D is good too, but like HQ is more likely to have snares, which will be fine. Like it draws us through a deck, and we're gonna hit another I've had worse at some point. But like I really don't like Mwanza. I don't feel like there's enough counterplay to it, and it just encourages people not to run. He says about to play a prison deck tonight. Oh, they're not rezzing. That's actually... Oh. So we mod an unknown card. Do we trash the Mwanza? We've already got it. Yeah, why not? Huh. So we have to hope that we hit a Neurospike there or the Salem's. HQ had the win. There's a chance that HQ has something that they don't want us to steal. We could run back and see 2 cards. Archive Memories means they could score Archive for Salem's. And then, so we need to draw once because they could Archive for Salem's to hit the I've had worse, score in the Neurospike. So we do need to draw once, that's for sure, if they have Salem's. Meat damage, interesting. We could run back here. Probably all operations. If there was all operations, they would have rezzed the Mwanza because they would have got 300 credits. Neurospike does not have a trash cost. Complete Image does. We run back. I'm surprised. Like if they have a snare, I reckon they would have rezzed. I'm going back for 2 cards. No, wait, no. Hold on. That can't be right. So if their hand is Neurospike, Salem's exactly, and then the Archive Memories, then we lose. If there's anything else, we don't lose. So I'm just gonna credit here and hope that they blow their load. Yeah, good point. Counter power 2. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Wondering what to counter 2 minute. We got that for the free run. So it's on them now. They can score out. That's the spin doctor. That's a good play. I'm into that because now there's a bigger chance that they'll draw into what they need here, which is a Salem. So they just saw 3 cards, so there's a bigger chance. Oh, it's double spin doctor, so they're gonna see their whole deck. So now if they just hit the Salems, we lose. Yeah, good game. That was really good. Oh boy. So what Bagot would have been okay there. I wonder if like pressuring the spin doctors is the right play. I was just convinced they were offshoring snares because we were running centrals. But now they just narrow spike us twice. A good game. Oh, but doesn't make 2 cards great here? What do you mean? More likely to win is R&D in archives. There's a chance it was an R&D. The fact that they didn't res was like super sus to me, but maybe they want to do that on purpose just to put us like off the trail, because like it was really weird for sure. So the ways that we win is that if we get our breakers down and then we get light the fire, like we can dismantle this remote server. Like we just trashed the Obokata. I don't think we could have ran this remote server. We have only access to 2 breakers. Like the issue is that we only have a single Bugalter and we don't have an MK Ultra. And we didn't draw too heavy just because we couldn't run. Like our deck is so run based, and if they have 2 Monzas, like we're not gonna run. I think running R&D was probably correct at that point. The issue is like if we hit a snare, it doesn't change that much. They can do 6 damage for sure, and they're gonna Salem's Dive Head worse anyways, right? Might have been run archives then run R&D as line. If we run archives, then we hit a sentry. It's like we're done. Like if we hit a Nancy there, we're totally toast. But maybe that's actually the right line. I don't know. Because maybe it forces the spin doctors. I think there's a chance that they buried all their agendas, and so they weren't worried about centrals. But then I'm not sure why they didn't res the HQ stuff, but I think that was probably the right play. And it looks like they didn't either have the last narrow spike or the Salems, and they drew into it. The call on the alliance was totally correct with the three doctors and 3 stuff like that. Now you just need Guru Devinder. Yeah, no, this sort of thing is like pretty easy to tech into. Whether you want to play Guru Devinder, I wonder if they have tech for that, like whether they have like resource destruction, or you can play No One Home as long as you have the credits. There's a lot you can do for it. Imagine popping a Gotchip on there and dropping it and no One Home. Do you have a window? You'd have to do it after the Oh yeah, because you could do it between each individual after they score the agenda before they play their next clip. Yeah, you could do it. Yeah, that'd be pretty wild. But yeah, there's ways to deal with this. Imp also helps a heck of a lot. Stargate does help. Like with Stargate, they actually have the ice centrals. But if we just got our breakers down, and that's like the magic of this card, of like the fires, that you can actually trash this and not have to deal with it. You take a brain damage, which isn't that actually meaningful in this matchup. Ice was Anansi in archives. Anansi mind game vanilla on the remote. Was definitely tossing agendas in archives. Yeah, that was the issue, is that we didn't get our breaker up yet, or our killer. And we only have 1 in this deck, and it's not a... I can't see the deck anymore. Yeah, Jane, that's a bit funky for sure. Good game. Yeah. Yeah, no, man. Monza really does it for me. I really don't understand. Like, what are you meant to do against this card? Like, I don't get it. Like, there's no counterplay to this. There literally is no counterplay besides wait till the end of the game where this is a liability. Like, this thing frustrates me. I don't get it. Like, the understanding, like, oh, trading extra accesses, like, why would the corp ever do that? But like, you know why they would do it. And it's like 15 credit swing on a card, let alone forcing him into 2 snares. Like, it makes no sense. Like, the only way to deal with this in the modern meta is Stargate R&D or don't run. And like, that sucks. It's good though. I don't think we won against this in a while. Light the fire? Yeah, light the fire is only remotes, so you can't do it. Pull up does it too? Sort of, but pull up you have to run HQ. So like kind of, but like pull up rotates way sooner than this does. Pull up rotates and the next thing comes out, but like that's it. Slums? Slums doesn't work. Slums doesn't work, does it? No. There's no ice on R&D. Do you just take 1 Monza access, trash it, and then mod the R&D lock? If you have I've had worse in hand, you probably survive the 1 multi-access. Man, I think we should have considered going R&D there. I feel like our opponent has so much control over the deck that they understood what agendas were in there, so we're unlikely to win. But the issue is if we hit R&D and we hit like 2 snares, then like that's an issue. Which there were 2 snares still in the game somewhere. If we hit R&D, hit Obokata, we can't steal it. Like, yeah, it doesn't really work. Hit it early before they can stack with snares. Yeah, that's kind of like the issue. It's like, hit it early and hope they don't have everything, but at that point they have a 15 credit string, and then if you hit a bacterial, you die to punitive. Like, it's like, you can't. You run R&D 15 credit swing if you trash it, and then they have bacterial programming and 2 punitives. Like, you can't do anything. I've had worse is the best bet you have, but like Salsa and all that, so I don't get it. It frustrates me, that's for sure. All right, we got some news. Decklist of the week. We definitely want to play more with this one. Yeah, Janet's really goofed. I can't even leave the lobby. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I know they just pushed a recent update. You just mad dash and hope you win. Yeah, if you do something where like the thing is like mad dash is even really hard to do, right? Because if you hit a single bacterial reprogramming off R&D, they have full control of what you access next. So like you're done. You're done. You can't do it. Like if you hit bacterial programming, they can serve you snares, and or they can put obacadas there that you can't steal safely. So that doesn't work. If you steal an obacada early in the run, you can die to snare. Like it's so difficult. That corp deck is probably the worst matchup. Yeah, I think anything, even like Architects of Tomorrow, stuff like that like really doesn't want you or really prevents your ability to have like run-based value is not going to work. You want to run the Monza with a huge cred card buffer? Yeah, sort of. But even then, I'm not convinced. A 15 credit swing is a bit much. I hate decks like that. I love run-based decks. Yeah, no, I hear you as well. Like it's my least favorite is to like sit back and do nothing. Like if there's a lot of Jinteki matchups, and we're gonna play one today where the right play is like don't do anything, which is like, you know, just a bit of a bummer. All right, some news real quick. Short update from the Standard Balance team. This is written by Lost Geek. Basically, following the release of the Midnight Sun booster packs 2 weeks ago, we want to give a short update on the Standard ban list. No changes. In the meantime, Standard ban list 21.10 will continue to be in effect if no immediate action is needed. The next update will happen on the release of Midnight Sun, which, from my understanding, is going to be the summer, late summer, I think. That's at least where we were last told. So that is, we're good. I don't know how y'all feel about that. I think there's some discussion that's going on that people thought maybe they would like legalize personal evolution again, or like revert the Jinteki thing and all these other stuff that like, because basically they made an SBL change before Worlds, for Worlds. And then there was an understanding that Midnight Sun was tested based off a world prior to those changes. So we're not going to get any changes soon. I have no doubt we are going to see those sort of like worlds-esque changes either reverted or maybe reconsidered more when the full card part, the whole cards come out. So listen on RNDB as a standard lamest deck. Runners agree. It's effective. It's an effective deck. You can tech into it, but yeah, it's just the sort of thing. We're gonna play a prison deck today, so like I don't mean you to make you to feel bad about doing your thing. I just that card gets me every time. All right, I don't know if this is exciting content. I got a box from Nisei. It looks like to be prize support. So Nisei is really kind if you get involved in tournaments. So like a lot of this stuff is from Worlds. And so for day 2 of Worlds and day 1, like I did casting. Again, all this stuff is on youtube.com/ do they have the Vanity Project Nisei? You would watch an Nisei unboxing vid? Excellent. It's all in here. So I produced the video for the day 1 or 2. I think I did intercontinental stuff as well. I did casting for sure. And so Nisei, like, you know, is very kind. They send you generally a lot of like prize support if you get involved in stuff. I'm saying this as a reason, like, get involved if you can. Again, that stuff is good. I think stuff here in this box also comes from continentals and intercontinentals, which Nisei just lumped that all together for Worlds. So it's a lot of stuff. And I honestly don't know what's in the box. So we're going to open right now. Changeling, still waiting for my prizes from Nisei, but still looking forward to them. Yeah, I know they're coming out. I'm not exactly sure what Changeling where you are. I know North America and Canada. Like, I know there's one person who's doing it for all of Canada, and that stuff seems to look like it's been coming out or has come out. Thanks, shoutouts to Z. So let's just open a box. Let's see what's in here. I think I have one of these that's a full wide cam. I just don't have like a, you know, one of those. Bay Area, we're far from the Nisei hub. I have no doubt it's a matter of time. In Canada, we have Canada Post, and they do this thing. I don't know if you have this in the States, but it's a flat rate box. So they basically say, if you get this box and it stays within Canada, we're going to charge you a flat rate for it no matter what you put into it. As long as like, you can close the box and it's not like dripping wet, they'll mail it, which is, I think, really cute. Oh, you have those too? Sick. Okay, no. I love that idea. There's like, if it fits, you're good. And their marketing for that was really fun too. Hey, Frisbee. Find a way to send my collection of lead. That's why I'm like so confused. Like, why don't people use this? This must be cost effective. Oh, I think a cat's coming because she hears packaging. Okay, hold on. These are smaller packages that have my details on it. So let me just pull these off. Nana, did you hear art? Okay, Nana, you gotta say hi now to everyone, but she loves adhesives, an unhealthy amount of adhesives. So whenever she hears cardboard, which is obviously a huge seller, or adhesives, oh baby. Flat rate is great in the US as well. Went up a bit in price though, I feel, but that's everything not modernly, right? Annie, you want to say hi? Give me 1 second. Do you want some stickies? Nanny, the camera's up there. You make eye contact. Do you have anything nice to say? No, okay. On your way. Kitty, yeah, no, she's good. All right, this says 1 of 2 on it, so I'm gonna start with this. One of ours loves chomping on cardboard boxes. We get a lot of throughput for boxes here because of board games and stuff, so. She's like trying to get in the flat box. What is this? Here, you can have that bag. Okay, so what's in the box? It's labeled 1 of 2. There's a playmat in it. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, there's a postage thing. I don't know where to start. Sorry that I'm saying whoa. Cat, yeah, it is a real cat. A cat also chomps on cardboard. She tears it apart. Okay, so there's a couple things in here, and I honestly don't know what exactly this is. This is a playmat. What art is this? I haven't seen this before. What is this? This is cool. It says 2021 on it. So obviously from last year. This seems a bit longer than a regular playmat. This is quite nice. What art is this? This is falsified credentials? Really? Whoa, that's cool. Is that Leela? I'm assuming that's a Leela. It could be a Leela. That's nice. It's a Jinteki kit 2021. Get out. Okay, cool. Oh, sick. Okay, there's other cool things in here. Firstly, these. So Nisei made their own sleeves. These are overclock sleeves. I don't know who makes their sleeves. These are just stickied in. Nana absolutely lit up. But these are actually like Nisei sleeves, which is really cool. I have a lot of sleeves. Nice. That's super cool. On the black background, which is smart because Nisei had issues classically where some of the cards bleed through. So that is matted on the back. So you shouldn't see bleed through of like old FFG stuff and Nisei stuff. That's super cool. Oh, I know what this is. This is, I think, Dan's boomerang plastic. Are they glossy? Are they matte shuffleable? They seem a bit, I don't think they're exactly matted. No, they're like the shiny kind of, you see the reflection there? I wouldn't say they're matte. So they're the opposite of not matte. Not matte, right? But the back is like they'll definitely shuffle quite well. This is a taped shut sleeve. This is the acrylic boomerang token. I think Dan made these, right? Dan B or Bushi? Because I saw these. Hold on, I need to cut this out. Yo, you know when you watch videos online where people open things and they pull out the most ridiculous knives? Yeah, these are Dan B's, right? Yeah, these are super cool. So these are just a acrylic boomerang counter. I don't know if there's something on the back I have to peel off. I feel like there might be. I don't like not being sure about that because I don't want to damage it. I'll investigate that later. But it's like a nice little acrylic boomerang counter. You see boomerang with like little wedges, and the boomerang has like that sort of I don't know how good the lighting's gonna be. Yeah, those sort of like digital starts. He also did an Ika and a botulus. Oh, super cool. That's really nice. Do you know if on the back, do I peel this black off? Is that part of the printing process, or is that how it is? It's hard to tell. I know a lot of times they come printed on a thing. Kind of does look like jellyfish. Yeah, you're right. All right, there's some cards in here too. You peel it? Okay, cool. I'll get to it. Whoa, what? Okay, so Nisei also started doing this thing somewhat recently, where they started making foil cards. And I don't know where the foil cards, how they do this. Leave the black on there. I don't know what I'm doing. But these are foil. Oh, these are from, what's it called? From System Gateway. So these are foil identities. So the 3 of them, we have Restoring Humanity and the nice shiny foil, Reality Plus, and the Built to Last in foil. And these are really cool. I think the first ever like Netrunner cards I got were from Nisei. They were like hedge fund foils and they look really quite sick. You can see that it's like very obvious rainbow foiling. It's just like the full finish over it. That's super cool. I wonder how they do these. Because like I don't know if like Make Playing Cards does them or Drive Through Cards. Like, can you get things foiled specifically from there? Like, can you order a full set of foiled out cards? And there's some more foils here. These are sure gambles. 3 Spin Doctors. These are participation prizes, I believe, from Worlds this year, which is the full art Spin Doctor, and you can never have enough of these. It's unlike Jackson Howard back in the day, where a lot of people ended up with like 12 or 15 of them, even more. But it's always good to have Spin Doctors, and these are foil sure gambles, which is such a treasure. I don't know. I play a couple other CCGs having foil stuff. Like you fall into that pit. NPC and Drive Through do foil. You can foil out your whole. Oh, that's sick. Actually, I didn't know that. That's really nice. Thank you, Nisei. I think there's one more thing here in a hard top loader, which is the foil rebirths, which these are part of the world's prizes as well. Oh, and a PD as well. So it's a full set. Sick. So that's a PD foil, and then the foil rebirth, which was, I know it's locally, or these were raffled off pretty heavily, but these were actually like kind of hard to get from Worlds. You had to qualify pretty well. But the foil rebirth is really nice. I don't know who the artist on this is. Oh, it's Minga. Of course it's Minga. That's sick. Is this part? Wait, no, because it's not in Katara, but Minga is one of the artists behind the whole Katara, the Katara cycle from the community, which is super cool. I like a lot of his art. He does a lot of the like abstract. He did most of the neutral ice suite, if I'm not mistaken, from System Gateway. It's a bit pricey though. I believe it. They have to mine all those rare metals. Foil rebirth is really quite pretty, and like in terms of foiling cards that are singletons are really nice to foil out because it's very special when you find them, like foil DJ Fenris and all that stuff. You have some alt art overclocks that are amazing too. I don't know if I've seen those. That's cool. 12 to 15 Jacksons. We wonder why opening moves is such a pain to get. Soulmare, I did not hoard opening moves because I hear you on that. But at a certain point, after opening moves, you know, like a year after, they came in basically all the world champs decks. There was full art Jacksons, and then they did the alt art participation prize Jacksons. I never bought more than one of any data pack because I respect that a lot of people are hard to get. Do you think a full deck of foils is more likely to get you stopped in an airport? I know when you get like you know those white cardboard boxes filled with cards, they look really weird on X-rays. Like I've been with people that pulled over and have to open all their cards. It's always good fun. Only BC TSA will want to jam a game with you. Oh, only because TSA, yeah. They're like, oh, you guys play Magic? We know Magic. All right, this is 2 of 2. This is really cool, and you say thank you. Also, thanks to Z who sent this out. I got a compliment on my deck box last time I went through TSA. That's really nice. Whoa, what is this? Hold on. Oh, she's coming back, the cat. Okay. This is a playmat of Gatekeeper from the Continental season, if I'm not mistaken. So this is the Gatekeeper. I like this art. Again, I don't know who the artist is. It will say on the Gatekeeper card, I reckon. It has some very vibrant colors. That's quite nice. We got an envelope. We got some more sleeves. So these are we got a full set of sleeves for the overclock sleeves. That's super cool. We got an envelope. When I flew to Gen Con 2019, TSA pulled me aside to inspect my cards. Did they ask you to pull out multiple things? Because again, I had a friend who we went to Worlds and they would pull out and like he had to like pull out cards and show them like everything to some extent. Okay, this is a lot of the world stuff, and this is from Continental. So these are exactly what I thought. So this is the Gatekeeper promo. The illustration is just credited as mad. So these are the nice Gatekeeper full arts. I think these were Continental's participation prizes. The full set of these Gatekeepers. That's a really nice color. It's really interesting to see what cards that Nisei decides to make as prize support, because Gatekeeper is going to be in the standard meta for like a time to come. So it's always really nice to have like extra copies of those too, especially for like newer players who are getting into the game as well, where it's really hard to find Rain and Reverie, which is where Gatekeeper came from. So it's really cool that the participation prizes are like powerful, ubiquitous cards that a lot of people would like to run and maybe are hard to get. On that note as well, Tapworm, which I'm not actually sure what cycle Tapworm came from. This looks like a Yakuza. It is a Yakuza. So these are the Tapworms, which I think these are also Intercontinentals. I don't know if these were top half or whether they were participation prizes as well, but these are very nice Yakuza arts. Super cool. That Gatekeeper alt art is awesome. It is really quite nice. My blue sun was so hot back in the TSA one on my deck list. Yo, that's where you get the real scoops, is you just hang out at the airport. All right, this is stuff from Worlds. So we got Audacities. This is from Ollie. You got 3 Audacities, which I was surprised that Nisei reprinted this one. This one's, I guess it's not rotating for a while, but this is like a card that untrapped the whole like what's it called? The whole Vacheron did nothing wrong. Like I'm surprised that they swung into it. And then you have Thimble Rigs, which are very powerful, ubiquitous ice, and that art is fantastic. That looks like a Scataminga. It is a Scataminga. I remember when they showed this as the world's prize, the text box was blank because they were still working on it, I guess. But that's really cool. I think we got some foils too on the runner side. So this looks to be foil. Yeah, so you got the full. So this is the full System Gateway foil ID set. So you have Lu, Zaya, and Tao. They're just the full foil IDs. They're like, they feel different than regular cards slightly. They're not like the plasticky acrylic ones, but they definitely feel a bit thicker. It's not like you have to shuffle these, so it doesn't really matter much, but that's quite cool. And then this last thing is really surprising, I'll be honest. Wait, what? Okay, I see what this is. This is a Nisei tote bag with pockets. What? Oh, that's really cool. So it says Nisei 21, always be running. And it's a tote bag that actually comes with pockets and like pockets within pockets. That's super cool. Thanks, Nisei. It's recyclable. I don't know if this is the stuff because Nisei has a store on Redbubble where you can get like their logo on a lot of stuff. I don't know if this is straight from there. It might be like you could get something similar to this, but that was this is a swag bag that all the stuff goes through. Nana, that's it. There's snowball boxes. Do you want a bag? She maybe wants to hang out in the bag. She likes bags too. Yeah, I know, that's right. I've never actually seen a tote bag with the pockets in it. That's really cool. And that's that. That's super cool. Thank you, Nisei. Again, there's a lot of stuff that they send out, and this is mostly because of just like involvement and participation. Time and effort goes into like casting and running comms and stuff like that. Again, this is not like favoritism or anything. If you get involved, Nisei is like really good at making sure people who, help at any level like get that sort of support. So appreciate it. It's really cool. It's really cool to get swags. It's also really cool just to like have physical prizes and like physical cards, because it's been a couple years since like really playing with Netrunner cards in person and seeing these sort of stuff that's like, oh, I'm really excited to go out into a place and play. I think it's a really good thing this year. I want that back. How's it going, Zubal? Another thing, actually, this is a quick shout out. I probably should have shouted this out a while ago, but there is an event, not like an event, but there's like a play thing happening this weekend, a play thing that Pat has organized. St. Patrick's Day, huh? It's on the 19th at Silver Goblin. I believe it starts around noon or 1 o'clock. If you're in either the Discord or the Slack of Montreal Netrunner, you know about it. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be there this weekend. It's Saturday, not Sunday. Saturday, the 19th. Excuse me if I said Sunday. The 19th. So that's Saturday. But it's at Silver Goblin, and I think people are bringing both standard or startup decks. So if you're in the area and you want to jam some games in person, this Saturday you can do it. If you can hit up Pat, he'll let you know more for sure. That's relevant to some percentage of the community who watches this, I reckon. How do you like those? She just loves the fact that we got envelopes. That's cool too. Thanks. That's really cool. Thanks, Nisei. Okay, I have made a mess of things here. And we're back. All right. So I got to ask a question because I did my due diligence and I did some homework and I put together 2 decks. And so I'm going to present them to y'all. And you can tell me what you think. I can tell you what they do and what I think they're lacking. And then we can decide which way we want to go. So I built 2 decks earlier today. Showing off, again, new cards. Is that an accordion? Yes, that is an accordion. As a Slovenian, you need to have an accordion at some point in your life. This is my accordion. I cannot play it right now. It's way too loud. It's not a thing you can really do at most times of the day. This is Azov Station that I put together. So when I set out to build this deck, I set out to do a couple things. Firstly, I wanted to show off Azov Protocol. We played this last week as just a 3-2. And we were convinced at the time that we play Azov Protocol and Vladisa Bursk. And on top of that, we would also play Neurospike. But it turns out all that stuff is way too much influence. They're like 3 to 4 influence a pop. So we ended up cutting the kill package, but still played Azov. And it wasn't very good. The fact that we had to fast advance and destroy our own cards, like that's a real big cost. And it's actually a really cool balancing mechanism that you can have more 3-2s in the design space of this game and not just have anyone like thoughtlessly jam them into a fast advance deck. Like this is admittedly, if you're on 5 points, this is not a real condition, but like if you draw this in your early hand, like it's kind of embarrassing. But we really want to we want to flatline somebody with this. And what I've been thinking is instead of putting this in a remote server and trying to score it out and then hit someone with a Neurospike, why don't we install advance this? Why don't we play this like it's an NGO front, play this like it's a 5-3 agenda? Because then when we score it, we'll trash something, sure. But then hopefully we have 2 clicks left and then we can play Neurospike into Neurospike, which should do 6 damage, which will kill some runners, not all. Actually, there's a lot of issues that we'll run into. And there's some like really bad matchups for this sort of thing. But it'll actually kill some people, maybe sometimes. Maybe. There's some issues. Firstly, I've had worse is a problem. It's just straight up a problem. And we saw in the last matchup, like it's something that you actually have to, if that's like your deck, that's something that you actually have to build around. We saw Salem's Hospitality do a lot of work. It's a card that you can name a card, look at your opponent's hand and trash all copies of those cards. So you clear out the I've had worst first, but that's really difficult. So that's not possible. On top of that, Onacom is getting even more popular, whether it's in green or even still in criminal. And with Onacom, it's basically impossible to kill someone who has 5 cards in hand. So you hopefully have to get them to lower cards in hand. Maybe they brain damage themselves. Like it's kind of really tricky. Doesn't seem like something I would like really recommend setting out to do, but we're going to try it because that's kind of what we're here to do, is test the cards out. The cool thing also is we have Malapur Data Vault. which makes all this stuff so much easier that you can just go ahead and find the pieces when you need them. So as long as you have an Ozef installed double advance on a Maliper and you have a single Neurospike in hand, like maybe you're okay. Because you pull a Neurospike and you do double Neurospike. On top of that, we have another card that actually plays out a fair bit like Ozef, which is Armed Intimidation, which is another card that doesn't see a lot of play. But if you install Advance it the same way you play Ozef, on your turn you can do Advance score, and you can give the runner a bad choice. Either suffer 5 meat damage, which sometimes they can't do if they have less than 5 cards in hand. They just can't do it. If they take in a single brain damage with Light the Fire, they just can't do that. Or take 2 tags. And I'll be honest, take 2 tags is probably the right choice. Our tag punishment with a single click left is only a high profile target. We're running 2 of these. We can pull them with Maliper Data Vault, but if we have a click left, we could do them for 4 damage, which maybe kills. Maybe if we have another click somehow, we could do like high profile target into Neurospike. If we do like triple advance or something a bit devious, it doesn't seem very realistic. But if they do take the 5 damage instead of the 2 tags because they're scared of boom or something, you just hit them with a single what's it called? You hit them again with a Neurospike and then they die again. Unless they have I've had worse or Anacom, which is a problem. How does this handle I've had worse? Yep. That's the idea here. Earth Station is something I want to try out. I think I originally had this in Built to Last for a bit. I've also put in Argus, and I think there's arguments to put this in everything. I want to try Earth Station because it's naturally, it's like an okay way to deal with Light the Fire to some extent. The idea is that they still have to pay 6 credits to run the remote server, and if they're Light the Firing the remote server and paying 6, and then you border control them, which is something we're going to play as well, like they don't get that much value out of it. Admittedly, we're not running defensive upgrades, but we could consider it. On top of that, by the way, we have Seamless Launch, which allows a lot of these plays to be a bit more realistic. Like even if we have a single advanced, to some extent, a single advanced Ozef, we could like do some surprise damage. We can score a bit more greedily with our Armed Intimidation. It gives us a lot of options. Earth Station admittedly is a bit dirtily and slow. I find it a bit harder to play Spin Doctors in these lists, so we opted for Sprint, which isn't a recursion, which might be an issue because if we lose some of our key pieces, we're like in a really bad spot. But it's a bit nicer. I was struggling to figure out what sort of assets to put in this list because NGO, Rashida, Wall to Wall all kind of struggle for the same spot. Wall to Wall is abstractly really good. We don't have that much advanced ice that we get that much value from. Rockman says, what about some clearinghouse to force runs? It's okay. It's possible. I don't think it forces runs. And the issue with clearinghouse is like, it's so expensive. Like we can't afford to continue to advance a clearinghouse. Like that's the server we want for a wall to walls or Rashida's. Like it's really quite difficult. So the one thing that I'm worried about this deck is that it just does not have enough economy in it. I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do here. Maybe we play more wall to walls and go a bit slow, but like it's expensive up in here. Like we have 3 hedge funds, 3 Rashida's NGO fronts. Maybe we could play Subliminal. I don't think that's like an immense amount of economy. And then like, I don't know what to do. Like maybe we want to work in hostile infrastructures or sorry, hostile takeovers, but like it's kind of hard. Wall to wall is great early. It's really good in this sort of deck where like any card in the remote server threatens to be a score out with Seamless Launch. So you don't know if it's a wall to wall or if it's something else. Like wall to wall probably should be more than a one of. I wonder if there's a Vladimir clearinghouse deck out there. There probably is. I just don't think it's good. Like I think if you're doing that deck, Chenchling, you're probably better off just dedicating. Because like with Vladisibrisk, you have to advance a Vladisibrisk. You also have to put the clearinghouse on top of it. So now all your eggs are in one basket. You can only move 2 counters a turn. So you're advancing the Vladisibrisk instead of advancing the clearinghouse anyways. Like not a lot of it makes so much sense. It's being like, okay, here's a dedication. Sorry, here's a clearinghouse. What's it called? Dedicate. Regolith is good for econ. Regolith actually seems pretty good. I forgot about Regolith. Yeah, I would consider Regolith in this deck because it protects itself. I think that's a good shout out. Yeah. Was about to suggest Seamless. Yeah, it's already there. Yeah, that was a late addition, but I think it's right. And we have 2 Chrysiums just to protect the HQ. It's another really cool thing about like how to like play around Light the Fire. And it's probably not that big of a meta impact right now, especially in standard that it is in startup. That like maybe we don't need Earth Station to play around it. 3 Maliper is probably too many. Yeah, it probably is. Maybe we're just playing these to bait runs. I don't know. I want to see Subcontract in this deck. Not saying it's good, but it'd be awesome to use. It's really hard. Subcontract lets you play like 2 events for a single click if they're tagged, but like I guess it's more playable than anything with Maliper, but like, oh my god, is this difficult to work? Like you need a Subcontract in hand. They need to be tagged. You need to have 2 high profile targets. It's like, you know, the cool thing about Subcontract, I think, would be like, what's it called? Election Day. Like that you can Election Day and then just dash into something and then play that. Like that'd be fun. But like at this point, like I don't know what we're doing. Okay. Then there's another deck that I put together. which is less interactive and maybe meaner. And that is this, which is testing on anemone. And we're making basically a prison potatoes grinder deck. The idea is that we're not trying to score out as much as we're trying to get the runner to have no cards left. And we're playing some of the interesting new cards. We're trying out some like interactive within the deck itself combos. But this is the idea of how it works. Paul just says, I'm assuming Azov would be better to use on an acid than on an ice, so maybe Earth Station is not ideal. Paul, I'm hoping that if we score Azov, we're winning the game, so I don't really care what we trash, right? Like, if we're scoring Azov, it's hopefully then we're doing Neurospike into Neurospike, which hopefully ends them. So, like, I don't really care what we trash, but that's probably why we're running, like, 3 Malapert, right? I guess, no, that doesn't work because you have to trash Malapert before, but you know what I mean? Only 2 divert power. So this is our Polana Foods deck. You could play this in Restoring Humanity to play a 44 card deck. We're at 49. The ability is relevant, you know. Nato says divert power. Yeah, I know. I know I'm out of loop, but I was able to snag a Rain and Reverie from a very nice Aussie. It cost such a nice fellow. What new cards are there? Yo, John, how's it going? Firstly, that's a huge find. That's for sure. If you're talking about the new cards from the Midnight Sun booster pack, this is the one we're playing. Unfortunately, the full arts on Netrunner DB are rotated the way full arts are, so it's a bit awkward to see here, but you can read the text here. Basically, we got a Sentry Ice, which is good. We already have good ice in every other slot. I guess we still have good Sentry Ice. Costs 3 to res, only 2 strength, 1 net damage subroutine, but it says when you res this ice during a run against this server, you may trash a card from HQ to do 2 net damage. Cool. So that's good. That's 2 net damage. They can't interact with that. It's not a subroutine they can break. So that is undodgeable damage. And the idea with this deck is that you do enough undodgeable damage that you grind them down to a point where they can no longer interact with you. They can't steal Obacatas, they can't risk snare, and that's an issue. They just can't run a lot. I'll check them out. I called it Midnight Sun booster pack. John, the easiest way is if you go to nisei.net and just search their article here called Light the Fire. You'll see all 7 of the cards. Okay. So we're basically cribbing a lot of the tech from old prison decks. So firstly, we have an agenda suite, which is as minimal as we can make it. We have 3 Sting, which can do good damage. If they score these early, we're happy with it. 3 House of Knives, which is, again, we're happy to score these. And scoring them is very possible in this deck. We'll get to that in a second. We have a Longevity Serum. It's a 3/2, whatever. It does recursion, which this deck does care about. We have 3 Obakata, which is basically the card that we're trying to hide as long as possible. And then we have to play another agenda to go to 49 cards. So we're on a Global Food Initiative. When I played this at 44 cards, I just had a 3/1 in here. I don't know if that's right, but I guess we're on food at this point. Assets, we got 3 snares. I think there's a reason that you could consider playing 3 Spin Doctors. I'm not. I went for 3 Sprints instead, just to be able to filter our hand a bit better. Now, Spin Doctor has recursion built in, but I feel like we might have a lot of recursion already, so I don't know if it's too much recursion, but you could see it. Sprint is just good, though, when you're trying to like hold stuff in hand and hold other stuff in hand. And then I'm playing 2 Synth DNA Modification, which is something I'm trying out. The first time a subroutine on a piece of IAP ice is broken each turn, do 1 net damage subroutine. So we will build a remote server, and anytime that we can play one of these, we will play them, and we will res them. And there basically is guaranteeing net damage. It does really either force them to run or force them to not run. I think we're okay with either way in a lot of ways. It's not a card you saw in a lot of these prison decks. I just want to try it out because every single ice in our deck is AP. So if we have this on the table, it's guaranteed to do at least 1 net damage, which for this sort of list with a lot of recursion is actually good enough a lot of the time. We'll see. It's trashable from R&D, which is a bit of an issue. Same with Spin Doctors, but I'm excited to play this card because we really haven't done it. To make the most of an enemy, we'll need cards to feed, so recursion draw should be accounted for if we're going to try and divert. Yeah, no, for sure. And we have a lot of recursion. Talking about divert, we have divert power. This is a meme card that by no means needs to be in the deck, I don't think. I think Arc Lockdown could easily be in the slot, but the idea is that this lets us de-res any number of cards. And the idea is that we want to de-res our anemones just so that we can re-res them so that we can continue to do damage. Now, of course, this is going to cost more cards from our hand, which will be an issue over time, but we get to de-res them, which is the point, and then hopefully res something big like an Anansi or even just a Kakugo. Like, it's fine if we res it. You could consider putting a Chiashi in this deck. Mouseless is what we're playing too, just to have a good code gate. My hot take, I really don't like how this deck and its archetype relies on stalling the game out passively to remove the runner's ability to win. Solimir, you and I both. We were complaining about that earlier today. I don't like it. I don't think it's fun, but we're going to try it just to see what it can do. But I agree, like it's not fun for most anybody. We have 3 genotyping, it's recursion. Good, we'll play it. We have 2 preemptive, you could play 3 preemptive, it's recursion. What's our econ package? Clicking for credits. Clicking for credits and a subliminal messaging and pollen ability. You really don't need an econ package in this deck. Prison is fun, says Cat. You just click for 3 credits every turn. Like, I'm not kidding. That's what you do. And a big thing for this deck is that if they don't make a successful run with Shipment from Tenon, you can score out a 3-1 agenda from hand. And that's either a House of Knives, which is guaranteed to do either 3 net damage at the most awkward time, or you get a Sting, which in theory can do like 4 net damage out of nowhere if I did the math right. Diogene says, why Mouseless when he could use Ike? I don't like Ike much. Ike undoes some of what this deck does. Like Mouseless is actually much more expensive to break almost all of the time. There's very few breakers that deal with this elegantly. It's also technically an economy card a lot of times. The tag can be relevant in some matchups as well. It's like it's a nice enough dump for MU. But Ike, like if they're trying to run centrals or run R&D, right, and they're going through a Kakugo, so they have less cards in hand, that's what we want to do, so they struggle to interact with their deck. Like the snares are more lethal, the Obakatas are harder to steal, barring, you know, tricks. And like Ike, if they play the side game and win, like it undoes that. I know it gets through their deck faster, but like there's a reason we don't play Harvester, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe we should play Harvester. Is that what we're learning? But like Mouseless is a really taxing piece of ice for the cost. Data Loop would be good. Data Loop would be okay if we're trying to score out, but we're not. Like, we're just trying to dirtle up and fast advance from hand. So if you're pushing for remotes, for sure, but then we're like, we're gonna need a lot more money too. The MTG Axiom of Fun, there's a set amount of fun players can have in any given match. If one player is having all of the fun, their opponent's having none. I don't agree with that. I think that might make more sense for Magic, which is everyone's battling in a more symmetrical way for the board. In Netrunner, it's possible for both people to have an absolute stellar time. Mouseless is a half an DNA tracker. Yeah, Mouseless is a really good card. On top of that, our ice, we have Kakugo, which is just, you know, mean. Doesn't have to introduce itself. We know what it does, right? Net damage for free. We have Amor, which like, oof. If they don't have an AI breaker, this is just 3 cards. Like you recur this. Oh my God, it's just 3 free damage. Sick. And then you have an Anansi, a single Anansi. You could play Sadaka in this list too. And then on the upgrades, we have some cheap D-reses. We have Prisec, which is damage and meat damage, and a tag, which is quite relevant. I think you could consider cutting these for something else potentially, but it's also a cheap divert power res. And we have Hokusai Grid, which is just, again, 2 credits, the same as Prisec for damage. It's a bit more expensive. Why no Maganga? Maganga's, I don't like it. I like Anansi a bit more than Maganga because it's less weak to things that beat Maganga, like Boomerang and Botulus. Like, this is just a better ice. No, Andre, winning is fun and losing is not fun. Rongi, based off of that, yes, you're right. Only 1% have fun. Says the inventor of depression, Paulina. I don't know, my enjoyment goes up immensely when my opponent's suffering. Cat. That's effed up, but I appreciate that. We don't play a lot, and that's good. Yeah, that's where we're going. So this is a prison deck. It does what it should do. It should do what it should do. It does what does. Maganga's better than Amor for your purpose. It's not. Amor is a trap, so like it fires. Maganga they can break with credits. Like that's a big difference. Like Maganga is just like, oh, okay, we don't tax the credits well. Like they'll have a lot of credits. Amor is like, oh, do you have Amakua? Oh no, okay, 3 cards gone. And merely trash the top of 3 cards like does help a lot of people, especially if they're anarchs, to get to their breakers, which is why like I think cutting a divert power for like an arc lockdown is reasonable. There's also a chance that like you want archive memories to like play cards at the right times. It always do net damage. Maganga? That doesn't. Maganga's, oh, Maganga. I was thinking of Lindsay the whole time. Sorry, Diogene. Oh man, I thought it was Lindsay. I don't know what Maganga is. Maganga's a side game one, right? Oh, I thought you Lindsay. Excuse me. You the runner secretly spend 0, 1, or 2. Reveal spend credits. If you the runner spend a different number of credits, do 2 net damage. Otherwise, do 1 net damage. Trash Maganga. Oh, I feel like all our other ice is better than this, right? Like Amor does 3 damage. It's not net damage, but it's 3 damage. It's less strength, so like an Amakua gets through a bit easier. Like Amakua Deuces Wild. I see what you mean though. Like you could definitely consider this. You probably want a bit more recursion because then we're playing less like, you know, non-ethereal ice. But yeah, you could probably play this. Yeah, sorry. Lindsay is what I was thinking. I thought you were talking of. Lindsay is the other one that that's why I was comparing it directly to what the thing. Amor does not prevent an Obakata score. No, it doesn't, for sure. But like we have other stuff to do that. I hear you. But like at the end of the day, if they steal an Obakata in the early to mid game, like that's still helping us, right? I think this deck is better than the Earth Station one, but the increase in quality is matched by an increase in misery. I think, Mun, that's pretty accurate. Like, we know this will work. Or not, we'll know that this will work. We know that this is an archetype. This is not an archetype. Lindsay has Lamb and Golo vibes? Yes. Yeah, they do. I didn't realize there's more than 3 types of ice. It doesn't make sense that the AI breakers. It doesn't make sense that the AI breakers work on them. Yeah, Paul. There's like, well, technically, there's way more than 3 subtypes of ice because the Sentry, Code Gate, and Barrier are not elevated subtypes. They're just the most common subtypes. But there's ice that don't have any of the subtypes. Mythic ice a lot of times doesn't have those subtypes. And then there's just like trap ice that doesn't have the subtypes. Lindsay's just less toothy. Yeah, Lindsay is just worse than Nancy. It's not bad, but the Nancy's just better. If you want a 4th Anansi, I'd consider it. And that's, yeah, Anansi at home. All right, chat, you're in full control here. I built 2 decks. I've done the legwork, so like I don't feel bad which way we go. If you guys want to be miserable, we can be miserable together. Doesn't Troll have no subtypes? I assume Troll is Tracer subtype. That would be my guess, or Observer or something. I don't know if there's ice that has 0 subtypes. Oh yeah, Troll's a Sentry. Yeah, lol. Okay, never mind. I don't think there's ice that has no subtypes. Go miserable. I appreciate it. Miserable in numbers? Misery? How's it going, movie? Okay, everyone likes misery. I don't think there's ice that has no subtypes. There's an easy way to check this. Not faction. Type ice. If we're together, I could never be miserable. Poglos. Yeah, I think everything has to have a subtype. I don't think we're gonna scroll through all the pages. Yeah, I'd be pretty confident all ice has subtypes. Oh, it's only 2 pages. Yeah, cool. How would I look up the ice that has neither Barrier, Sentry, or Code Gate? I do not know how. Can you do like logical expressions? Can you do like, what's the, okay, obviously I don't know the syntax in general. Disgusting. Excuse me, in general, like I don't know what's subtype. S, like can you do S minus? I'm just gonna do Barrier because it's one word. I don't. Someone smarter than me knows this. I've always been like an absolute clown when it comes to these. It's the bar command? I thought bar was or. Like we want to go nor, not or. Chrysalis could be fun. Chrysalis is like okay. Chrysalis at the end of the day they can break or trash. We don't want that. We don't need that. But like I think like you could consider playing. I think I'd rather play before that. Just it's more taxing for a lot of people, especially people in NK Ultra. Like I'd maybe rather consider playing the one from Sicenton Town or something. Honey, you think it's just the that would actually make sense. Is it just exclamation mark? Nah. No. There's no logical oh, hold on. Yeah, no, it should work. It should work. Is that it? Okay. This is it. Oh, huge. Okay, so it is. Oh, so it's not into bar. Okay, so S, there's no colon. S not Barrier or Sentry or Code Gate in quotes because of space ice. So this is not in the full, this is everything. This is not full rotation. So there's like 20 or so unscientifically ice that isn't those typed. In terms of the ice that's like actually sees majority play, exclamation I know is the standard for logical negative, but I know in Google if you do minus it works. You can add Z current. Okay. So if we want to look at ice and we'll go to image only, which is my favorite. It's only like 9. Loki's only Byroid. Yeah, it's true. So the ones that actually like see regular play, Loki. That's largely it. Like in startup, it's a bit different. Like special offer sees play in only Spark decks. Sandstorm saw some play, maybe an Egg Infusion deck. Sadaka is a good ice and could be considered in this deck because just so you can deal with like certain resource hate and or certain multi-axis like Turning Wheel. Some people like Rhyme and Loot Box, but yeah, it's mostly Loki, honestly. If you're a clown and stuff, I'm a court jester. Hey. Okay, let's do it. We said misery for some reason. You guys are all effed up in the head, and I appreciate that. I hope we lose terribly. Rhyme seems plays on GameNet. Yeah, on GameNet. Which it's not a part of the world I like talking about. Let's be honest. And I'm not gonna spell that word consistently correctly. Fun fact, if I'm not mistaken, the art for the Nisei snare, clicking on it doesn't work, is based on an anemone. If I'm not mistaken, this is also an anemone that was like manipulated into this image. Any money? Yo, now you're gonna encourage me to say it wrong all the time. All right, so you can hot tech into this thing. You just play like 3 no-one homes and we have no game. With fronts like these, who needs anemones? Oh man. Yeah, it seems Venus flytrappy. The original snare, I'm pretty sure, is a flytrap. Beans. Leave page. Something's up with Janet. All right, Smoke. She has less cards. She has some less cards. We have our singleton, what's it called, in hand? And we have a shipment from House of Nice. I'm keeping this. I don't think we res the Anansi just because if she bypasses it for 2, it's like pretty good for us. But I think she only breaks us for like 4 credits when she's set up. So it's like, it's one of the few matchups where you actually can deal with Anansi relatively cheaply. Hushik will be your doom. I don't think a lot of smokes run Hushik. Will Hushik be our doom? I don't know. All right, so our plan is just to basically credit up. We could draw once, but I think we're gonna just, yeah, we'll ice up. We'll do HQ. We'll hit this button, R&D credit. And again, I hope you like credits. Next turn, we could consider jamming this on the table. 45 card smoke. 30. Oh yeah, they are playing 45 cards. They saw us coming. Never mind. We lost our edge. They also have a mid-run card draw with Netrunner, which is like quite something. All right. Yes. Thank you. So we're just going to put this on the table. They didn't run. So we're going to score this. And so now we can do 3 pocket damage. So now they have 3 less hit points. Oh man, what happened there? Best if Kim gave Kuyab. Sorry. I said best of luck, have fun, and was off 1 key on the board. Auto scroll looks like it's working. Yeah, that was pretty bad. All right, they have a Rozeki that's really good. The question is, how many extra cards are they playing? Hokusai is quite good. We want to make sure that we get up to Nancy credits to force a run. They're on 3 stealth credits. They want to be running to get values. That's quite good for us. We can probably draw once here. A preemptive is good. We can just get this on R&D, which is likely we're going to lose, and click for credit. And again, buckle up. We can talk about anything else that's going on in our lives. I finished the campaign for Under Falling Skies. I played on easy. It was. Double daily cast, 39 hit points. You got to stick to the plan. Like, drawing here would probably be right. Not going to do it. God, I really... Elden Ring good. Game is hard, but that makes me happy. Onicom. Ah, that's good. That's forced card draw. Tunic is out. People seem to be really liking Tunic. I don't know exactly what it is. It seems like a Zelda-like thing. I've been falling in love with Slay the Spire all over again. Yo, I got my Steam Deck last week. I played a whole like tabletop simulator Arkham Horror on it on our Monday nights because we're not meeting in person right now. And it was awesome. It is really good. Like, I'm playing just casual weird games that I wouldn't normally play. Like, I'm playing Thief 2014. I'm playing Blasphemous. Okay. This can't be effective. So that's 4. 2 for all subroutines is nice. I started Mini Metro and Bad North. Those are well made, uncomplicated games. Mini Metro slaps. I haven't played Bad North, but I know what it is. It's like that little minion management. Wait, how? What? Well, that was very cost effective. They don't have enough cards to steal an Obokata here. They hit a Sting. That's fine. They drew. I got curious, so I screwed around with some custom NRB searches. There's 1 piece of ice in the game that's not a barrier, Code Gate, Sentry Trap, or Mythic. Now we saw the whole, in the whole game? I don't know if I know what that is. Sandstorm? Is Sandstorm not a deflector? They didn't use the overclock credits? No, they had stealth credits. They would keep the overclock credits to trash from hand. I think this does demand some amount of stealth credits, so they couldn't use the overclock credits for everything. But I hear you. This is where like we want to get this down, but I think we're just gonna put this on HQ and click for credits. Like, again, it's a bit, yeah. I reserved a Steam Deck. I was hopefully still skeptical, so I waited for the first wave to get their hands on it. I think my only bad thing I'd say, sorry, I need to move my face, about the Steam Deck is that the fan noise is actually quite loud. And by quite loud, I mean it makes a like a high-pitched ping, like a high-pitched whine that is a bit annoying. Like it's not a thing that I'd be comfortable like sitting in bed and playing if my partner was going to sleep or something. But it's something they can fix. But everything else has been super lovely. Like the control mapping is like so powerful. The battery has been really good, but I haven't been playing like a lot of like modern crank the graphics games. Like I'm just hitting backlog and like, you know, indie games, and it's like 6-hour battery on those things. Check out freeways on Steam. Mini Metro feel but freeform. Ooh. It's like just messing around in city skyline, just building roads. All right, they figured it out. They just started clicking for credits. They're matching us. Oh. We have a price deck. We could definitely put that on the table. I want to draw for an ice, but it's probably the wrong thing to do. Like, this is the issue, is that we just probably put this on HQ and click for credits. Like, I feel like an absolute dink doing this. Like, oh, ha, 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 I'm winning. I don't know. Nemerker, that's good. Again, this card draw. Anytime they play a card, that's a hit point, right? So they're on 29 hit points. We have 5 damage, just about guaranteed. 6 damage with a Kakugo. Like, this goes quickly. All right, it's an Anansi. We will res it. The Anansi, they break for 4 for strength, 2 for subroutine. So 6 for Anansi is not terrible. Again, they have 1, 2, 3 recurring credits. They have Rizeki. And then I'm going to hit the Hokusai, which they'll overclock, be able to have the trash credits. I'm pretty sure they have the credits. If they're short, they overclock credits on Hokusai. It's a bit bad for them. You don't do anything until they run, right? What else are you going to do? Draw and discard? Yeah, that's the issue. It's like draw and like try and find ice. But like, I don't think we really want to do that. They have credits. We hit another Divey from hand. Ice type quiz. Answer is Loki, which is only a buy raid. Oh yeah, we talked about that. Yeah. Yeah, Loki is just buy raid type. It copies everything else. Mother Goddess was mythic. Creative commission, nice. All right. With this, we can't really do much. I think we're at the point, well, we want to play one more card before we go. I think we just click, like, this is a problem, y'all. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. 4 prison types. 1, take out cards. 2, take out breakers. 3, take out credits. 4, take out clicks. What prison did you not do in a while? Like, just clicking for credits. Like, we're forcing them to try and win. Like, this is, I don't know. Don't like this. Nero, how's it going? Welcome. We're prisoning it up. We got our ice down. We got our subliminal. Ooh, Amor. They actually can break that. They have the tech. Our Amors are not going to look that good. Do we play this? There's sometimes you don't play this. You keep this in hand as padding and or something to throw away for anemones, but we don't have anemones. So again, like, this is miserable. They're down to 24 cards. Again, we have 3 guaranteed damage. Amor's fine with synth. Yeah, you're right. It's fine with synth. Oh, Takobi, that's nice. That means they're going to run, though. Fixer Taka, that means they have to run. Cost them 0 to res, 2 to break. It's not the worst, but they have 17 credits, right? Like, it's not the worst. I like that run. We want to ice up archives eventually. Then we put them in the awkward situation. The thing is that they break it for free. Oh, okay. Things are getting awkward. Things are getting awkward. Non-AI icebreaker. What? Wait, what? Yeah. Oh, this. You're right. This doesn't work. Takobi doesn't work with IV. Choose a non-AI icebreaker. Yeah, you're totally right about that. I'm pretty okay here throwing out the divert power, let's be honest. But I think at this point we just do credit, and we return the these 2 into our deck. We'll keep the subliminal out. It's not 3 targets, right? It's up to 3. Is it actually 3 targets? Preemptive, where are you? I'm gonna assume it's 3 targets. Wait, it's not 3. What? Oh, wow. It's not May. Uh-oh. There you go, subliminal messaging. It was nice knowing you. There you lost some money there. Oh, they have Beth. It's really unfortunate here. If we could keep ourselves between 10 and 14 credits, we would. Like, we would force them to draw through our deck. I wish we could tank our money. This is where you start boosting into trace. All right, it's Namor. Their MU is full, so I don't know what their multi-access is. I don't know if they're on Moose Safecracker or not. So here they break this for 2, or they just eat it. And it's 2 stealth credits, which, you know, it's a real resource. They need 4 stealth credits for this run, which they have between everything. The dive of deeps. Oh yeah, could be. No, they have to run everything. I don't think they can deep dive that easily because they have to worry about Kakugo price X. So the chance of them deep diving is pretty unlikely. This sort of stealth rig is like really bad at running 3 servers. Divert power to re-res Nancy. Okay. So this again is 4, 5, 6 to break, which is like not the worst. But it's not totally sustainable. Yeah, I don't know what the Jacoby is doing. This is definitely an AI. Maybe they actually have actual breakers and this is what they got down early, but they have double dive E. What do you type to auto search and enter to be when you type /n? Aurora, it's something you can set up in Firefox. It's something I set up manually. You can basically set up shortcuts, like your own commands so that you can search them up. We actually should have hit a damage here so they couldn't install House Obokata. I should have considered that. But yeah, I set it up manually. I don't know where it is. I set it up. It's probably somewhere up here. I just don't want to open all that stuff because I don't know what you're going to see. That I can search. And it basically, oh, do you know what you do? You just do this. Excuse me, I remember. So in Firefox, you go to Netrunner DB, you go to any search bar and you can right click on it and then you say add keyword for the search. And then if you type that keyword and then type a search term, it just automatically searches that search bar no matter where you are. That's how I've been doing it. Yeah. Buckle up, everyone. You don't assume every runner's on turning well until proven otherwise. There's a chance they are. They haven't found it yet. They're down to 20 cards. That's what Sadaka's for, but Dive is dealing with it okay. She's probably purging to try and get down to 14 credits. Rangi, I think you might be right. I just don't see how we're going to ever get down to 14 credits. Maybe we just purge every turn. We still have 3 snares in here. If we hit a damage actually with the House of Knives, there's a chance that they draw, which I think. Why are you playing like a troll? I'm sorry. We're trying out prison decks. We're trying out this style of deck for the new cards' sake. Kobe might just be reduced cost of pumping Dive. You can't though. Because you can't use Takobi to boost the strength of Dive, because you can't use Takobi on AIs, right? This is an AI. Like you can't Takobi what's it called? Amakua. Or I'm just gonna keep naming AIs. I'm sad they're upset with us, but like this is what this does. Tell the truth, the chat demanded misery. They don't know. They don't know. This wasn't my choice. You could spend money advancing mouseless? I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. When I run Prisoner Acid Spam, I like to say some of my games for this reason. Yeah, maybe that's a good idea, is actually writing something. Oh, I didn't talk about this, but I think there's another way to run this deck where you actually play, are they deep diving? They might be deep diving. You consider playing false leads, and then you actually run real tag punishment, either a high profile target. Sometimes exchange of information can be enough. House of Knives, you expect the deep dive. Yeah, we'll House of Knives for sure. We also have Kakugo in this. We can House of Knives on the archives run. We'll see if they go through this, because they might not if they're deep diving here. Yeah, for sure, Catherine. Well, we'll try it, but we're gonna wait for this trigger and this trigger first. Maybe, yeah, maybe we'll wait. I don't know. I don't know if they're breaking this or not. Why did you not use your knives? At this point, like I wanted knives when they're running with 4 cards in hand to hopefully make them be less than Obokata. I don't want to always House of Knives. I think there's some times where it's better than others. This being a 1 strength is nice. Yeah, Anakam's also a really big deal. I don't know what happened there. Trickster Taka to gain 1. Place 1 on Nemeker. Nemeker to gain 1. They still have to break. Okay. I'll just pay 2. Oh, we hit 1. Wow. They have to pay 2. They have to still pay 2. They just took the money. I don't think it's gonna matter, but like technically they should. I feel like we're giving them hard enough time that I don't want to continue to be miserable about this. But they just took the credits. I don't think they paid the credits. They just like added them to their pool. They didn't pay it. As far as I understand, they placed it and they gained the credits. They didn't pay them. Fire all? Oh, wow. Okay. They're honestly not far off winning. Like our HQ's been pretty bad. Our hand. I understand your feeling, but this is a legitimate deck and strategy. Yeah, sure. But like, I don't know. If you're into JNet lobby to play for fun, like I respect someone not wanting to play against this. But I hear you. Oh, well, House of Knives. Got SMC. So now they have to be scared of snare. Oh, it's a price sec. I forgot. We didn't have to res. Oh, they hit the global food. Dang. Yeah. Oh, we got the second deep dive. But hey, they're on game point. They get an Obokata, they win. Like, I don't know. They could easily do it here. Do they have a third deep dive? No, I refuse to believe it. We got the third deep dive from hand. Oh my god. That was how they're gonna win. Oh no. Oh no, that's rough. That's rough. They can still win though. Like they're pretty close onto it. We definitely need ice for archives. I wish we had more ice. 15 health hit points. Ugh. I can't believe we went through all three. Like that made sense. I'm surprised they tanked the mouseless considering. And this would actually be a really good turn for them. Oh no. I'm useful. Oh, they're useful. Okay, so they dropped that. That's good. So we can actually score this out. It's either we score this out or we put a price tech on R&D. Didn't you have 3 House of Knives? We have one more, but you can only use it once per run. So we can't like hit them again. So it's either we put price. Oh no, but they don't access it. Yeah, okay. So we have to do this. But like we can easily lose to a single Stargate. This is where Hokusai is better than price tech on R&D. We also could nah. Yeah, we probably lose. Price tech RD very bad with Stargate, yeah, because they need to access this. It's not a successful run. I mean, if you're playing against Grinder, waiting to get 3 deep dive before running, yeah, no, it's the right thing. I'm just surprised they took an extra damage on the mouseless trigger. Like they could have broken it. They had the credits. Yeah. So now if they hit the Obokata, we lose. And we can do 3 damage to them. They have 3 clicks. Did they hit their Anakam yet? Yes. So I guess. I don't know. Yeah, no, if they just get lucky on the Obokata, which they have a 1 in 10 chance just about to do, we don't win this. I want more ice. I really do want more ice. I don't think we have enough ice. They're down to 12 hit points, though. The thing is, like, this is not taxing them. Pat, is it automated? Yeah, just as of today. But JNet's having its own issues. Oh, my bad. JNet's having some issues on their own. Pat, what can you say about Saturday? I think I shouted it out incorrectly at some point. I'm going to hit here. It's not necessary. They'd have to draw once. Like, they could goof it. Like, if they run archives without drawing. But if they hit it. Oh, this is new. An enemy shipment from 10 and an enemy. So they didn't hit the Obokata. That's a really big deal. 1 an enemy down. They made a successful run, so we can't shipment. Deuce is wild. Oh boy. There's actually a chance that we put this on R&D. Knife them so they can't steal? We did. We knifed them down to 3, but they had 2 clicks, so they got always a drawn and ran. I wonder if the Kobe was for just a misunderstanding. There's a chance it's just a misunderstanding. I think it's pretty subtle. It looks like it is just a misunderstanding. We haven't seen any other breakers yet. Why not 2 knives? These are only once per run. We can't actually like unload it. So we have the shipment from 10 and we know that there's an enemy on top. So we could bluff that this looks like a Crisium or a Hokusai. Other versions of this deck had things like that HB trace-based Warrior Tracker, which was like a fun inclusion. An enemy is probably better on archives. I think we put an enemy on archives, which is guaranteed 3 damage, so they need 7 cards plus this. Yeah, okay. And this is when they access it, so as long as they don't beef the order. Unfortunate part is like they've seen the top, so maybe we actually want a genotyping here just to shuffle in more cards. I feel like that's probably fair. So we can shuffle in more cards. So we're going to shuffle in one of these, one of these, one of these, and one of those. So we just have more cards in the deck. Saturday, Silver Goblin, 12 p.m. Be there, else be elsewhere, but preferably be there. Pat, is it startup or standard only? It's an unstructured casual event, single-sided, swap opponents, preferred format, startup plus booster. Okay, cool. Yeah, nice. Okay, they're going in. They know this is likely an enemy. So we can hold off for one more turn. Again, they only have 8 hit points, so it's getting narrower. That being said, they can still just like mill us out. Man, if these Amors triggered, they would be a bit better. People can bring standard and play that if their opponent's up for it. I think if you do that, like you bring 2 decks, obviously, so you can at least give your opponent a deck to play if they don't play standard. Be like, oh, try this. All right. Getting through it. We might as well hit here. Hokusai, divert power, Sting. This is an interesting dilemma because the Hokusai is obviously an issue if they Stargate it, but Sting is an agenda. This is the only 2-pointer deck. They went for the Sting, so we might actually just top deck the Hokusai. And we don't, oh yeah, we know we have a lot of recursion. We learned that the deck needs a swordsman. Actually, swordsman is a pretty good idea. I don't mind swordsman at all. So the top of the deck is a divert power. So I think we just put this on R&D, click for credits. They're down to 5 cards. So again, very limited amount of runs left. We have 2 guaranteed net damage. So at this point, they can't really steal Obacadas. They can still win though. Mystery's not very fun. Who would have guessed? The dictionary? Yeah, okay. I don't know what you're talking about. Clicking for credits and then they draw through their deck. Like that's the issue. It's like the right thing to do is just not draw, and then how do you win? Oh, they're actually Stargating. I'm surprised. The Hokusai's gonna get him there. And now for the Obaka, like they're just gonna try and mill us out. I'm just surprised that they're taking the Hokusai damage because they can't access this because this is not a May ability. It's a forced ability. Like they can't do a Stargate in the last minute and be like, no, I'm gonna deal with the Hokusai instead. So like this does get a net damage because this is on a successful run. It's not on access. Man, we look like absolute asses out here. Just wait until they levy? Yeah, they might actually do the harmony therapy, but I think maybe with deep dive you'd consider it. So they see 2 new cards here. We could actually, they can't draw anymore, so we don't really have to House of Knives them. Divert power, Amor, and enemy. Nice. House of Knives, there's no real reason. Because if they run archives, they have to get through an enemy, which is 2 more damage. They take a damage here. They're resing, we'll res the anemone, I guess. Actually, we'll get rid of the price deck. So this resed it. We trashed the card. It did 2 damage. So there are 2 cards in hand. If they steal the Sting, they take 1 damage. Okay. So they have 1 card. So they're on 0 cards here. So they can't run R&D. They can't run HQ. They can only run archives now. They're on 5 points. If we ice up, they just can't run anymore. If we ice up this thing, we win. What's on top of the deck? I forget. Oh, Amor. Okay, well, now they can't run. Oh, technically they can let the Amor fire. Oh, this is a mistake. Prison has worked. They've been prisoned. But they technically can let this fire because this doesn't do anything. They actually shouldn't have been breaking these the last couple turns. I think we all forgot about that. They have no stack. Like this doesn't do anything. Is now shut off, yeah. Maganga could have been better. Well, Maganga, yeah, maybe a bit better in this matchup, but I think overall, no. Funny enough, it would have been better here on the remote server, yeah, for sure. Isn't Amor? It's AP, yeah, but they have no reason to break the subroutine, right? Like they have no stack, so it actually doesn't do anything. This was a goof. Okay. Well, I don't know what's happening here. They die. You don't run that. I think they're a good game. And they left. All right. They had a miserable time. They were actually pretty close to winning. They were not far off. I think they did some small misplays. Like, I don't think you take the Hokusai damage for free. They definitely like just sent it at that point. And I think like losing all 3 of these, like that definitely is tilting. But I don't see why they let the mouseless fire for. They could have not guaranteed. They can't really win as a concede. Oh no, I get it. I know they were just conceding there. And at that point, basically, we just score any agenda on top of a Hokusai and then we have it. But like I'm telling you, the right thing to do is click for credits. You just click for credits. That's all you have to do. And this person now officially hates the Metropole grid, and I'm really sorry about that. I really am sorry. That sucks. I want to try it. We saw what an enemy does. Divert power is by no means necessary. The chance of you drawing everything and lining it up is pretty bad and unlikely. I think we want slightly more ice so that we can quickly ice up everything so that our shipment from tendons and our one subliminal lol is on. I feel like subliminal makes more sense if you're also playing the other version. It kind of like puts all your eggs in one basket. Like they want to run for shipment from tendon and to turn off subliminal. It kind of makes a bit more sense if you're playing Restoring Humanity, where that is like a better card. Every game we lose to our fans. Let's try the other one because woof. Happy St. Patrick's Sklar Day. Don't hate to play it, yo. Okay, we'll try the other one. This one I think has issues. I think we can make it better. I think the regoliths maybe make sense more than some of the other parts. Thrill as we watch Andre click for credits, but strategically nail each click for credit. Like he never clicked for a credit at an inappropriate time. Every single credit was so well planned out. This deck has not enough economy by a mile. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Everyone wants to play Shaper Weyland. It's actually my mother's birthday. Faith and Bagor. Actually, we didn't call this thing anything smart, did we? As of Station? Wow, what a genius. Is it just Earth Station? Yeah, SCA headquarters. Okay. Did you do anything, Pat, for your mom's birthday? 15 ice feels like maybe one short of what this list should have. But maybe the single wall-to-wall. This just feels suspect. Like maybe we want Regolith in this deck. I'd expect that we do want Regolith. I think maybe we can cut. I feel a bit better about that. We should build a Lucky Charm deck. Oh man. My sister was talking. She's doing her thesis on like subtitling stuff and captioning in general. And there was this conversation that came up a couple years ago, like how to caption languages that are like English adjacent but aren't English exactly, like English similar language, like Jamaican English, which is like an English-based Creole. And let me tell you, a really bad Jamaican accent goes very Irish very quickly, and I don't know why. Yesterday did dinner with the folks since it was my father's birthday 2 days ago. Hey, congrats. Easy just to do one event. We had key lime pie. Yeah, that's this weekend actually. There's like Maddie's extended family. There's like 4 birthdays we're celebrating. They're all just so close together. Okay. It's weird how that happens. So it makes you a family. Ooh, cool. Isla. She's dealing with her her not NVRAM, but her set aside cards. So you pull 6 out before you mulligan. You get to keep 4 of them to the side, and you can always click to draw them. There are no other cards that interact with that space or that mechanic. It's just put these cards aside for now, which is good. It either lets you thin your deck to take cards out for the matchup or allows you to have cards that you always have access to. Black screen on JNet? Oh, yeah, sure. I got it too. Yeah, when it gone, I ducked out. All I had to do is close the page and reload, and it keeps me in the lobby. I don't even have to rejoin. Families are like cicadas. Every 13 years, whether you like it or not. I still don't know whether I'm meant to peel the plastic back off of this. I feel like you're meant to. I'm worried I'm gonna damage it. I'm in. Excellent. Yeah, cool. Let's get this. Do it. Good luck. Have fun. I think you do. I'm pretty sure it's meant to be transparent. I don't know. I'll Google it. I like the new Isla art. I feel like the whole theme of her, how she's meant to be like a digital botanist, just did not come through as hard as it probably could have. Did your boomer stay the same color or change after removal? Ooh. Opening hand. We have a single ice. We have a sprint. I'm just gonna keep this hand because it has economy in it, and we're hoping we top deck an ice. We don't want to flip and jam. I think we just put mouseless on our HQ and hope. Like, I'm assuming everyone who's playing Shaper's deep diving, which we have Crisium, we have border control, we have ways to deal with it. But I'm imagining everyone who's doing this is deep diving, like playing Out of the Ashes combo. Whoredum's great. Whoredum is good. I think we want Whoredum for the remote server. Or we can just set these up and then wait next turn. Yeah, maybe we'll just do the non-end the run on RD, this on HQ and click for credit. I feel like Whoredum like just isn't as strong as it used to be. I just don't know what, if they're in Goloing, it's quite expensive. Pat tap coming down. I think we can maybe afford to trash that. Can we afford to trash that? No, we've considered it. We can't. So we can put this into new remote server. We could click it and flip it. That's pretty bad. So I think we could consider flipping it now and then just jamming it next turn, which would mean they need 9 to trash this. I feel like with our ice suite, we actually have to trash Pat tap. Otherwise they can run and trash this. So I think we might just do trash click for credit. Man, Pat tap. Yikes, that's really bad. We lost a whole turn to that single install. I got acrylic, build your own dice tower, and had similar film to protect it. While laser cutting, they should be removed. I feel like just about... Oh, wow. Just about... This is definitely a combo deck. Every acrylic printing I've ever got has had a sheet on the backside. Because that's just how they ship acrylic, I think. So they don't scratch the back? I don't know. I don't think we ever give them the card draw. Like, if they draw, like, 3 out of the ashes there, they draw anyways, right? Because of Anacom. It's a cute, like, Anacom trigger. 4 credits in a card draw or 5 cards? Like, if you're just trying to get all your out of the ashes in the bin, why not 5 cards? Pretty sure this will come off. I don't know. I'm, like, mortified. I'm just going to mar it and then have to look at that all the time and remember the stupid thing I've done. All right, daily casts. Draw. Okay, so it looks like they're setting something up. This is a bit ugly. We could flip this, install hit it. It's not very good. I think we can flip this and just put Rashida on the table. We're gonna install advance the NGO front. I think that's fine for us either way. Like if they run it, it's fine. If they don't run it, it's better. Yeah, I think that's better than Rashida. We actually probably could have sprinted this hand. I just don't know, like we're specifically sprinting into probably hedge fund. Because I don't know else what we're sprinting into. The 2 agendas is like a bit ugly. We have 1 Audacity in the list. Isla moved a card. So there's something they want. It's a deuces, wow. Whoredum exposed on HQ. Again, it doesn't cost extra to run HQ at this point. It used to cost a credit to run HQ before we flipped. All right, we're going to res the Whoredum. Continuing counter ice, fire and broken subs. We get credit back. They get a card draw. We're at 1 credit. So they might consider running RD at that point. We can always NGO front, res the mouse for 3 credits after refund. It seems like just so much raw like draw and fundamentals that I'm worried that they're on some cheese. And like we are struggling with our economy, that's for sure. Simon Chip gets access to nothing. Yeah, Out of the Ashes. Okay, so it's just a deep dive deck. So we want to get a Chrysiums. I feel like we are just okay, just jamming Rashida on the table. So we can sprint. Okay. Actually, getting cards that R&D might be smart. Like Agendas in hand is better against a deep dive deck. Onicom also means that our like OZF protocol plans are like totally dead in the water. That's unfortunate. So at this point, it's one of the matches where we just don't have a plan. Like I feel like that's an issue. And these sort of decks, our prison deck would actually been okay. Because again, we have so much damage, it's hard for them to keep the card in hand. I guess you could play Bookmark if you're really worried about that sort of matchup. Odds of Nero still does 7 damage. Odds of Nero does 6. Yeah, it does 6. So like unless they have 1 operation and 1 event in hand, we hit it for the last one. Oh wait, no, it's cool. Yeah, they'd have to have like a hand of, and again, they're going to definitely be hoarding events considering, but there's sometimes like it's the right play to do just to like knock out deep dives because there's a big chance that their deck has like nothing to do if they can't deep dive. We're hoping that we hit Chrysium and a border control here. Oiler in the bin makes sense. I wonder if they're also on APOC. I would not be surprised if there's an APOC down there. Just jam ISO's agendas? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Oiler does pretty well here. Shit. Yeah, Weyland does this pretty well. We don't have a seamless yet. They could Oiler this, but they need to actually trash an installable. This is just a mouseless, so it's 6. They actually could run this remote server. I'm feeling okay about this. Like, if anything, we double advances, then we just narrow spec for value. We'd have to trash a card. We just trashed one of these Mouselai. We can only have one remote server, which is admittedly, like, it's doing work for us now. Like, it gives us a lot of value for not a lot of value, but like, I'm worried that they're just gonna like smash HQ with the Oiler somehow and then run server 3. They haven't found a Beth yet, which I know that they're looking for, but it's not necessary when they have 2 out of the ashes. Like, they can still just combo off. But we have border control and Crisium. We have Afshar too, which is like actually not that bad because they get through it for 2 credits with the Oiler. But they need to install a program for the simulchip. I'm surprised they haven't yet. I wonder if Revolver is there too. Apologies, it's very loud drinking. It seemed bad. If we top deck a seamless launch, we're actually in an okay spot because we can seamless score Neuro, and that'll be good enough for us. But they're thinking. Again, this remote server is only 6 credits. There's a Mayfly. Wow, overclock the Mayfly remote, pay 6. Okay, that's fine. At this point, we will res the Mouselai. It's just like good enough tax for us. They could give us a credit. The tag is annoying, but like that is very expensive for the Mayfly. Like high strength is good, high subs as well. Like 5 strength, 3 subs is good. So again, they have 5 credits off here, but that's 4, 5, 6, 7, probably just 6, and that's another 6. So that gets through most of their money. They could just let these fire. The tag might not be relevant, but they, I don't know if they know. Maybe that gives them wings, yeah. They could also consider to simulchip for the Oiler, but I feel like they want to keep the Oiler for their combo turn because it keeps it the 0 strength for the whole breaks subroutines for the whole thing. The issue now is the only thing we've drawn is a code gate, so like it's not that hard for them to flip our ability. Oh, fire all, excuse me. Oh, we hit Beth, okay. Here's another one. So this they could actually consider breaking or not. They have the money, they'll break it. Okay. So they got the Azef. Yeah, I just don't know what we're doing here. Like, as much as like you complain about a prison deck potentially, like every like 2 out of 3 decks we play against are like Shapers just comboing off Deep Dive. Anacom True off of the ending of the overclock. And it is our turn. We are destitute. Oh, I'd love to jam this here. The issues about jamming this is like it's so obviously an NGO front. Deep Dive into R&D and Elias 1 agenda odds are too good 80% all the time. Yeah, I hear you. It's like, it's not as guaranteed as notoriety, but it's 2 points, usually. I feel like, though, we do want to hoard agendas to some extent here. Like, just keep them in HQ. Their credits are drying up, but this is not presenting a big issue for them. I wonder if we could get a border control on R&D, whether it'd be good enough, but the border control, we need to tax them. The Rozeki is good for them, for sure. Ah, single server issues, huh? I wonder if we just go fast enough and sprint. I doubt it. I think we just want to hit this. Just get money. Every Shaper's a prison deck. You heard it here, folks. You're not totally wrong. Control is just another nice way of saying prison. All right, this we can afford to trash. I just wish like our ice here was a bit better. If we could score this, we'd actually be pretty jazzed. I don't know if they're going to tank 2 Mouselai for that. But like trashing a daily cast for 6 is good. Anti-cyber deck sandbox. Oh, they drew off of Isla twice more. One happened earlier, but we missed it. They have 1 click left. I doubt they're going to run this. Now, the Rozeki means they can flip in. So I think they're going to combo next turn. I'm not sure that bringing that to daily cast is going to do that much on their game plan. So like it's border control or Crisium or bust. So I feel like at this point, we just leave that. They threw out a Caldera. A Malapur doesn't do much. I'm gonna sprint for a Crisium or a border control. Nice. Things that we want. Hedge fund's less necessary. Geofront's okay. So this forces a barrier breaker. This forces another run, which they can probably do. The fact it's on a mouseless has made the most quote-unquote expensive one. We actually probably should have kept the high-profile target just so they couldn't float the mouseless tags on their combo turn if they whiff. I forget what we shuffled back. We could have shuffled back Malapert probably instead. Yes, I don't think that was right. I think keeping the win condition for a niche case is probably correct. And obviously we could have scored this out, but like, I don't think they're interested in running it. I think they're going to try and win off centrals. They didn't run last turn, so this just looks like a Malapur or something. That's just holding on. Next turn we could trash the daily casts if we don't have anything better to do. And we have enough ice to just about res everything and score. He counts to 13. SMC on the table. We're going in. Oh, this will flip. Shit, are they running their mode server now? That's so surprising. No, they're probably just... Are they getting an Oiler from their deck? Oh, wild. If they apocalypse us, then we're like hosed. And I'm worried they're apocalypsing us. Considering they did not simulchip. But maybe they need a simulchip for the SMC to find a fractor? I don't know what they're doing. If they run their moats over here, I'm going to be pretty upset. Because that's a wild ride. To like not run the server 3 last turn and run it this turn? Oh no, they're just flipping. Interesting. Paperclip in the bin. We have a single border control. What is his identity? This is Earth Station. So now it's more expensive. We could just trash that. I don't think they're going to run it. Like we could border control HQ again. We also could put this on HQ so that it looks like a Crisium. Like that's actually worth doing to some extent. Like just bluffing. I'm just worried they're going to call this and then they're going to be on game point. I'll just take it. But like there's a big chance that the border control on HQ and then Malapur on R&D is the right play. So they have 3 out of the ashes. So even if we border control them, like it's not going to do anything. I really wish that we kept the tag punishment card, but like there's almost, especially because we sprinted them back, like oof. There's still 16 point of agendas in R&D. It's worth noting that border control is actually worth something because it robs clicks and they need 2 clicks to be able to like get extra XI. I just wanted the deep dive to be 1 credit more expensive. I know, I'm surprised. And I'm surprised that they used the Oiler. Isla got their last card. I think we're going to get Apoc here. Oh no, we're not going to because you need to do these at the start of turn. She has, it's always awkward to figure out where to put this. That's the heap. So they have access to Paperclip. 2 overclock are out. We're expecting a 3rd one. In terms of gambles, we're missing 1. Deuces, we're missing 1. One's being played right now. Did they expose something? A cat on archives. So they're paying 1 to this, breaking all of it for 4. Malapur Data Vault, no trash. Drawing a card off Onicom. 2 clicks left, so it's not like we're going to get Apocalypse here. Just probing HQ, and again, it's been many turns and we haven't scored out, so like HQ runs are kind of make sense. I wonder if the economy's actually gonna dry up. Are you allowed to look through the heap like that in a person game? Yeah, always. You ask your opponent, you know, politely, can I touch your cards? Because they're their property. But yeah, you can always see it. It's public information. How much is it to run this remote server? Because I think we do ice this trash, go down to 10 or 8. No, we can't go down to 10. Yeah, I know it's really important to look at your heap, especially for obviously the heap breakers, but like counting cards, that's really important. Counting influence is also more important. On the corp, sometimes more, maybe not off soul. It's also worth knowing that whenever they access the archives as a corp, you can shuffle the face down cards before they see them, which is actually a relatively new rule. Oh, they moved the pad tab back. Yeah, no worries. So yeah, I always do that. Before I shuffle hand back archives, I shuffle separately the face down cards and hand them to them face down. All right. That's good that's in hand. Ooh, they had, now they have a Palangi, so they can go even further with an Oiler. So they're just gonna try an Oiler paperclip through everything, so they don't need their killer, which makes sense. Why does the shuffle matter? Don't they access all of them? Well, because you can tell the ordering, right? Like, say I threw out a card on turn 3 to a Maw trigger, and then I threw out a card on like turn 8 because I was over hand size. Like, understanding what happened at which point in the game actually gives you information. I don't think I get painted the best like example of why that matters, but like understanding that this card was thrown out to an ability, this card was thrown out by choice, or at what point in time, it's edge gains. It does actually give you some information to read the narrative of the game, right? Like if somebody threw out a, you know, like maybe a hard hitting news in the early game, maybe that means that they have 2 more in hand, you know, stuff like that. They are going to see all of them. They just don't know the order. Okay, let's think. Border control helps. Putting something in the remote helps. Flipping this doesn't help. We have no pad tap, so I think we can do this in remote. The issue is credits. I don't think we did the math. We have just 12. We can't raise the Akat, but I don't think it's going to matter. Yeah, it's a real edge gains thing, but it's technically worth doing. It's just kind of like a habit to do anyways. I think 9 out of 10 times it's not going to matter. Okay, Out of the Ashes is coming in. They have access to 1, 2, and the one they're playing. So they have potentially 7 clicks. So we'll force out a paperclip here and see what we do. NGO Advance might have been decent to res all our ice. Oh, you're right about that. NGO Advance is actually not that bad. I just don't think that Aket's going to matter that much because the paperclip breaks it for 2 credits. And like if they apocalypse us, we don't want to do that. So because of the apocalypse, I think you're right. Install Advance is actually a bit better. It also threatens more money and makes this more interesting. I think you're totally right. That's better than Rashida. Let's see what they do here though, because this goofs the math up, right? Like they need to run this once, twice, third, fourth, fifth. Then they need a deep dive 6th, 7th, and they only have 7 clicks, so they can only do a single deep dive. The issue is that they'll have 2 more deep dives for later turns, but they won't have any Out of the Ashes. They also haven't. They haven't also locked what's it called to the table. They haven't got a back to the table to stick. Yeah, NGO is also much better because if we go to low credits, we can recover. But the Apocalypse thing is pretty useful. Like this is where you count their bin, right? Like you see Apocalypse. Like they've spent only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like we've seen 7 influence maybe. Oh, plus that. It's like 10 influence. So there's easily an Apocalypse. And Apocalypse makes a lot of sense for Isla, who can put it aside. So they trash their Zeki because they're going to use a simul chip for Oiler, I'm assuming. Yeah, I feel really bad not jamming the NGO front. I wonder if they'll give us the credit on one of these. If they don't actually pull out their other Oiler, that they might. But they might want to keep the simul chip for the Rizeki. Or not Rizeki, sorry, the Plongi. Oh, shit. Excuse me. Hitting a Hornum here. 4 strength, 2 subroutines. 1 is gaining credit, the others end the run. So if they want to break it, like it's 4 credits. They break all of it, but it's 4 credits, right? Like they can't do that too easily. They might just like, I think, eat the border control on this run and then come back next turn. Will they have enough credits? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm surprised that they wait, did they simul chip for the paperclip? They simul chip for the paperclip to save 3 credits. You don't see that a lot. It's a cute line of play. They could simul chip for the Rizeki, but they're gonna have to run this twice. Sorry, the Plongi. They could actually like break this for 3 instead. I just don't think it's a good use of resources. Yeah, maybe they just bounce on the border control. Because their money is drying up. It's true. Like they've played most of the burst economy. Oh, they're doing it. Wait, oh, it's the second Oiler. So now they break it for 0 credits, for 2 credits, which makes more sense considering they have to run it twice. But now they can't deal with sentries. The issue is like, it's not an issue for them. I will end the run. That does not draw a card because this is removed from the game. I think that's a rate play by a mile is the Oiler because it's gonna save them a lot of credits throughout the whole run. Not the SDS. Oh, Malpersic. I feel like I'm including Afshar over Hortem slots more and more. I like the HQ consistency. I'm sure how much Hortem does in the Pat Tap world. Yeah, Hortem's really bad for Pat Tap, but this deck does have 2 Afshars. We just haven't seen them yet. This is going to get expensive. I really wish that we install advanced tier because the money's actually going to get tight. But the problem is like we're just going to use everything and then they're going to be able to do it next turn, hopefully. Ugh, man, this would have been so much better. Fire all? Yes, got one. All right. Man, we shuffled away our meat damage. Oh, this feels so bad. We'll draw with Rashida. Yeah, I would have loved an Afshar in HQ. Hortem is not as great as it used to be. That's for sure. I think actually we should cut out Afshar. I think this made more sense back in the day. Wait, they didn't run R&D. Oh, they played Sure Gamble. Okay, they're just running archives. That's fine. We can't res that. They didn't make a successful run on R&D. But they wanted to check this first because it's known information. I think that tracks before they give us a 3rd credit so we can consider resing something. I think that's actually cool. That's all good. I thought it was a cool play. Because now they can come back. Like now they know that they can get through archives. Like that might not be the wrong play. The issue though is if they run through the mouseless and lose the damage. But they also don't have enough clicks. They only have 2 clicks now. That's the biggest issue, is that they could run our R&D and then deep dive for a single card, which is not great. Hang on, I did math wrong. I do not need to gamble. I know that the cat, so you can't res it. Care if we go back? No. Oh, no. Oh, they gambled in there. How did they take a tag? They let the mouseless fire. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I didn't realize they sure gambled. So they actually could do a single deep dive if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, mouseless has a tag subroutine. I deuced this a while ago. Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. So now we did the hope the deep dive doesn't hit, but the deep dive is likely going to hit. We're at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 agendas, so there's 13 and 28. So that distribution is about 1 in half a point per card. So they brought gamble back, so now they have 3 clicks. So they can run R&D and do a deep dive for 2. There's a chance they win, right? Like we have SDSs in the list. So they could just win here. The question is, do they have 3 deep dive? And will we hit 1 on net damage? Oh, actually, they could break it. They could break it. They just go to strength for 3 break, and then they have 2 credits left. I think it was my first to 4. No, I don't know, honestly. Does anybody know? Out of the Ashes, Border Control, Massless. Okay. Ooh. I'm not sure. You Ashes HQ. Ashes HQ. Ashes R&D. Now, how did they spend multiple clicks? They ran archives, which they didn't want to do. Yeah. So you should have a run on R&D and then a full deep dive. Yeah, okay. So they have 1 full deep dive. We could just lose here. Yeah, 3 clicks left. 3 Ashes runs, 1 archives run. Still haven't successfully ran R&D. Oh, it's all good. Yeah, 3 Ashes runs, 1 archives run, if I'm not mistaken. So they have 3 clicks left. So they could run R&D, break it, deep dive. Have no money. Access 2 cards if they want to spend a click, and then steal a 3-pointer and 2-pointer, and we lose. Man, the value of deep dive is like, oh no, it should be 3 clicks. 3 clicks left. Unless you're taking back the R&D run. So you haven't archives ran yet? I don't think the order between R&D and archives matters if they plan to break it. Okay, okay. Do it. All right, so they've just made 3 runs from out of the ashes. That's it. All right, so they have 4 clicks left. Yeah, like literally having the extra credit for Arcat would have been such a big deal. Man, that's so bad that we could have NGO front there. That's upsetting. Single access off the top 2 could be an agenda. No. Yeah, man, that's bad. Yeah, if we install advances, it'd be a totally different game. So we gotta play it perfectly. Well, you can deep dive here. My suggestions are late. No, it's all good. I focused on that because I planned my turn the turn ahead, and then I just like jammed it. But I thought we'd have to clear the pad tap, and I undid the pad tap, so I didn't discuss it. SDS drone deployment into. That's it. Oh, and they spent a second deep dive. Why? Wait, why did they spend a click to access Neurospike? You don't need to do that. They just wasted a click. I'm not sure what happened. I don't know what happened there. But they just spent a click to access the Neurospike for some reason. That was lucky to some extent, but we're on game point, and our remote server is not very good. They have no money. That's like a cool thing we got going for us. So we need to score out the SDS drone deployment. The issue is that this doesn't end the run. So we want to get the survey on the remote server, but we also want to make sure they can't deep dive us again. I feel like money is the rate limiting factor. So I think we need to do this. Oof. We need to get this on the remote server. I don't think there's any way around it. We could put this in the remote server. I think we're going to do another Rashida. We also could install this. No, because next time we have to advance this. I think we just click for credit. Server 3? Yeah, so you may spend a click. I don't know why they spend a click to access the Neurospike. It doesn't really do anything. They could have had a click left and click for credit. So here we click for credit, or we install something. This is safer probably in hand. Like the single last overclock is the issue. So the question is, it safer behind this? This is trace 6. I think it might be safer behind that. But then it like strands these 2 cards. Next turn we could do, like if we single advances, we consider Audacity out. Flipping HQ is enough to keep it safe for this turn. Oh, I forgot we could flip HQ. Yeah, you're totally right. Flipping HQ would have been 100% the right play. I don't know. Maybe. Wait, are we scoring out? Yeah, we have to. Like now we flip. But if we flip, can they, like they have to run this for 4. They have to play deep dive. So we could do advance, go down to 4 credits, then we have to click for credits. So like we have to do something really drawn out and slow here, which is really awkward. Like we probably should have jammed the NGO front before the agenda. Yeah, because now we can't undo it. We only have 1 remote server. Yeah, we've painted ourselves in a corner. I tried for Neurospike to get rid of the last deep dive. Yeah, I think we're gonna advance this once, and then we're gonna have to like Audacity it. If we flip this, it saves them. Oh, they have a pad tap. Whoops. We can't do anything. If we flip this, it makes this harder. I think we have to click for credit. Just has to redo like 5 clicks. No, come on. And I think we're just trying Audacities out. Hopefully we don't top deck an agenda. Audacity gets rid of Neurospikes. I know, but if we Audacity this, we can't Neurospike. Like I think if anything, we just have to assume that they're out of gas. Like if we top deck a Seamless, we could consider Seamless. We can't Audacity Neurospike because it gets rid of it. But like I think we have to just score this out. Because this is it's scary to have this. Simulchip out of the ashes, okay. Ugly. Like we could do advance credit, but like trace 6, they can potentially get through trace 6. Like that's a problem. Like I think we just have to Seamless this. I think we have to just Seamless this. And like trash an Oiler, which doesn't really do anything. The thing is, like, scoring this and then having 6 more credits to narrow spike doesn't seem realistic. So we could do advanced audacity. And then they start with 3 credits. They could run this. No. Yeah, I think it's what we have to do. We have to just like jettison all our money. Like it's really awkward. The last deep dive is a problem, but they have 1 out of the ashes. We still haven't seen a Crisium yet. Oh, this is not great. What's our finish option? We don't have another audacity, but we also have no recursion. So we have to just score out on the remote server, which is not that hard. Like they're not that good at it. The question is like, how do we not lose to another deep dive? And like, we know that they are very likely to have the final overclock, and that's the issue. Like we can't just score on their remote server. Again, like they could run HQ, be down to 0 credits, and then they could, they have to get through this still. Like there's a chance of being flipped and this is good enough. Do you think they're getting through with Trace 6 with HQ flip? No, but they could probably do both. I think maybe we advance and we just click for 3 credits. Maybe that's the best we have. Like having able to threaten this. Yeah, I think we just advance and click for credits. Actually, advance might have been reasonable. But we would have been on 6 credits. I like 8 that we can do both of these if we wanted to. I don't know what to throw it. All the time you need my time. Debt. This game is massive. I wouldn't worry about it. Single tag, mind you. We have to remember we don't want to trash this with 3. We can trash this with 2. Still looks like an NGO here. It does definitely look like an NGO though. 3 would make it look like a very obviously not an NGO. But they've seen SDS. They've seen Neurospike too. So like they could worry that this is an OZF because this is an OZF into Neuro. Like it doesn't kill them likely, but it wipes their hand. The issue though is that's a 3, 6, 7, 8 credit play. But like, oh, out of the ashes, they're doing it. Uh-oh. Well, this forces out a Pelongi, I guess. We still have 5 for the remote. But like, I don't know how they deal with this and they don't deal. Like, how do they get through everything? Fire all? Oh, sick. Advancement. I guess. Sure. That kind of helps. I'm worried though. Onacom? Like, I think they still just overclock this. Oh, they don't. Whoa. Okay. Shit. The top R&D is a win. Okay, well, that actually helped. Audacity, spike. Audacity trashed your whole hand, so we can't. So we trash something. We just do a single Neurospike and hope we hit it. We hit the overclock. We didn't hit the deep dive. On 11 credits, they have no out of the... They deep dive for a single card, basically, here. But no, we missed it. We missed the last deep dive. Ah! We can still win if you top deck a 3-2 somehow. I just don't see how they don't lock us. Deuces. Game 3? They can't even draw 2 cards. They're going to clear the tag? Expose? Expose? Wait, what did they expose? You have to expose. They didn't expose, but you have to. I guess they're going to deep dive here and hope. We could lose. Again, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 agendas. There's 8 and 20 points, so there's a chance we lose. They also got a credit, mind you, off the pad tap when they let the Aket fire. So it wasn't the worst for them. I think they should be letting this fire. This is a close game, and I think like we did not give ourselves the advantage by playing optimally. They did goof obviously a bit too. The question is whether they can get through this. This they get through for 2 credits if they want to use their what's it called? Their simul chip. Otherwise they get through for 4. No, they're gonna simul chip the Oiler for the Oilers. They get through for 2, and they could just obviously hit the agenda and win, which would be so like anticlimactic. Neurospike, classic. We've seen that all game. They have to let this fire. Or there'd be a credit short. They have to let this fire. What? They're 1 credit short? Yeah, they should have let the credit fire on the Aket. They're 1 credit short here. Because you break all subroutines at once, and then you let them fire. So it's not like you can gain the credit yourself, and then break the last. So we have a 1 in 3 chance of hitting the deep dive. Deep breath. Deep dive. Shit. Dang. Oh, go with God and trust the hand. No. Did they gain the credit? Giving you credit? No, because subroutines fire after you break. Basically, you break everything and then let the rest resolve. They don't go one at a time. All right. Armed intimidation. Shit. Man. Good game. Yeah. They definitely could have let the credit fire on either the Hordem or the Alcat to get the credit off the pad up themselves. Thematic. They need to take a deep breath before going in. Yeah, for sure. Oh man, 59 credits. We are really like limited by our economy. We were very limited by economy. Our draw wasn't fantastic. Like we do not have wall to walls, but like if getting more ice is just probably good. 16 ice feels like 1 or 2 short for this kind of deck that actually does want to kind of turtle up. That was an exciting game. It kind of was, yeah. I know people are testing out the new cards, but like all these deep dive decks are just like, I'm gonna ignore everything and just deep dive you over and over again. Which again, this card changes a lot once Out of the Ashes rotates. We got up to a 33% there at the end. Clickbuggery said that was tons of fun. When I got, hey, good game. Yo, I don't know if you knew last turn, like you can get the pad tap credit off of either of these, so you didn't have to play the 1 in 3 gamble, but it made for better television. Yeah, we definitely goofed it though. Like we lost a turn to the NGO front awkward jam. We could have gone faster and then maybe even set up a double neurospike. What counters deep dive? There's like a lot, anything that just like makes the runs harder. So like our list has 3 border controls, 2 of them did work. We have 2 Crisium grids, which neither showed up. Afshars on HQ would have been good. Actually, no, they're just about equally taxing. But we have 2 Crisium grids. Like drawing a Crisium grid there would have been very, very hard because Wenegon did not have the credits to trash it. So we could have drawn a bit better. I think also like sprinting and shuffling back agendas into her deck was like the wrong thing to do. That being said, the Wenegon did put on a bit more HQ pressure than we expected them. Top deck is HPT. They did just shuffle. But yeah, top deck. Oh, I just shuffled too. Yeah, we had a high profile target there that we actually could have considered keeping. Like at some point, we sprinted and we shuffled back the high profile target, and we thought we should not have shuffled this back. Like that was wrong, and we could have played it for value because they floated a single tag just to have a shot at hitting the deep dive, which would have been a huge big deal. The thing that like I think like it's like, firstly, I'm so surprised that these decks aren't running Apocalypse. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. Like I know you are deep diving, but like the easiest way to deep dive in the future is like just Apocalypse first. Like I don't understand why these decks aren't also Apocalypse decks. But like I think the part about this that like I'm surprised to some extent. Well, no, I'm not surprised about this. But like so far all the deep dive decks we've seen are like exclusively deep dive decks and nothing else, right? Like they have no backup plan. They can contest the remote server a bit. Like you have Mayfly Overclock, sure, stuff like that. Euler, like fine breakers. I don't think there's a killer. There's probably just not a killer. There's a Plongi. Maybe there's a Revolver. Who knows? This one's just trying. Exactly. This one's just trying to double deep dive. I get that. But I'm worried that like that's the only way you're going to see the card is like Shaper's just going to be a deep dive faction, as opposed to be like having that as like, oh, here's my notoriety. It's just going to be like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to deep dive you. You try and prison me out. It's 11:41. Oh, we're like so close to being able to do one more. We'll do a fast one though. We'll play as fast as possible, so it doesn't go too late. But yeah, our deck actually is like pretty well situated against that sort of thing. We have like a very good way to defend a remote server easily. We have 2 Crisiums. We have 3 border controls. I don't think we're unfavored. We just don't have enough economy. You should build an APOC deep dive deck. Maybe next week, but like it's been a couple of too many weeks in a row that we're playing, you know, the sort of decks that people don't love. Prison deck played fast. This is not a prison deck though. And prison decks, you have to learn how to play fast in a tournament. The good thing is for that Polana deck, you just click for 3 credits really quickly. Funny you should ask. Is this what the APOC in it? Not so deep dive. Oh, there you go. Yeah, this makes sense. Like this is what like I don't know about the Breaker Suite. Like I think Euler's really sick. I don't. Yeah, this stuff makes a lot of sense. Base Ops makes a lot of sense too because you're in Shaper. Lucky Charm, I'm not entirely sure about. I guess that's cute, right? Yeah, because you run HQ and then they can't border control you. That's cool. That's cool. But I think this is like pretty reasonable. Like I think APOC is like getting the first APOC like absolutely ruins me, and then all the other deep dives like do hit. I think also Peace in Our Time does make sense if you're playing. Obviously for our matchup we really like it because our money's bad, but like we've seen it with Beth to get effect. Fabricio, how's it going? The best corp for you? As in like the best I like, or what do I think is most powerful right now? I think I'm not sure if any of the cards from the Midnight Sun booster pack like very obviously altered tier lists that we've seen since Worlds. I'd have to do a lot of testing. Instead of a corp, what I enjoy the most, honestly, that's a hard question. I don't even know what I would have brought to Worlds if you ask me. Oh shit. Lori, how's it going? I don't know what would I said I would bring to Worlds? Like probably some mid-range PD for better or worse. I don't know. Right now we're trying to make things work. Oh, here we go. Tau. It's gonna be a deep dive deck. Thanks, you too. Would I play HB? Oh yeah, I forgot about ganked. Easy answer. If this is a deep dive deck, like we can just do massless, flip regolith, we'll be fine. Tao is saying no quote, sorry. Interesting. Yeah. They haven't got it yet. Yeah, the gateway. I wonder who writes those. I think we used to know. All right. A cat is good for a remote server. Massless for HQ is reasonable. Actually, I kind of like a cat on HQ just because it's an end to run. We have to watch out for replacement over ice. So things like Afshar get worse. Surveyor gets a fair bit worse. Basically, our goal is not to get deep dive too quickly. We want to build, get wrist control or whatever. We want to like get this on the table, click it a couple times. So we want to flip this at some point so that we can like minimally, what's it called? Commit to the remote server. We can do their new remote server. Just click for a credit here. Next turn we do install advanced events. We don't even flip. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I do like ganked. That's a bit more aggressive than I expected. Dirty laundry off the top. They can't steal SDS. Pad tap coming down. Love to see. Proco, wow. Not exactly what we're expecting. Neurospike, so they know what's happening. The question is whether they're playing Onicom. Of course they're playing Onicom. Pad tap, I reckon we need to trash with our ice suite. Last deep dive, you could not escape. The odds are 90% not get one agenda. Really? Were they that bad? Like they're seeing, yeah, you can calculate the odds pretty easily. Like we had less than 20 cards left, I would guess. They're seeing about half of it. Yeah, yeah. It seems really, really unlikely we'd escape that. Maybe the fact that they saw one was also like unlikely. So we can do install advance. That's probably better. Like the good thing is at least if they run on their turn, they're gonna be spending some amount of credits. Like we'll get the credit off Mouseless or a cut and then get the NGO front. So it's not like they're gonna get the pad tap more than once. And then we can consider trashing it once we're, oh Jesus, fucking pad tap. I thought they added the quotes for the gateway IDs. Maybe it's another bug. I don't know. Yeah, 9% successfully to get one. Yeah, no, that I understood. Man, pad tap is just like, I don't know. I'm so used to playing rushy Weyland stuff, and then somehow you have to deal with this. Like how? I guess we're gonna spend our time trashing these. Philadelphia. All right, 2 pad taps down. We did it. Played about 5 games today, 4 of which were full deep dives. I won 1 playing Jinteki with a focus on net damage, trashing 2 of the 3, a complicated deck to play against. Yeah, we played one earlier. We played one earlier today, and we actually did net damage all 3 out of hand in 1 turn, but they do kind of crowd in hand for sure. I think you can play Salem's, like maybe you are at that point where you can just main deck Salem's Hospitality and say deep dive. Like there's ways to deal with it. It's just I don't think there are ways people are excited about. We can't afford to trash it now. The issue is that they could get value off of this twice, so it's basically like they click for 2 credits and we trash for 3, so 5 credit swing. Again, we said fast deck, but then we have to spend 9 credits and 3 clicks trashing pad tap. So what are we talking about? Borealis is only 7 cards, yeah, 1 for each of the main factions. So deep dive revolver. Oh, they stole that. Deep dive revolver, light the fire, Vlodisabrisk, Hakar 1.0 anemone, and a Zeph protocol. In that order. Malpert down. Like shh, they are rolling through us. Okay. Good thing our entire ice suite is really weak to pad tap. No breakers yet. What was that card number in R&D total? I'm interested in getting the actual percentage. I don't remember offhand. I know still replays don't work right now. Border control? Will we res it? Yeah, okay. That's an interesting one for them to position. This is way more aggressive than a deep dive deco. But like this is our issues. Like our deck is just not fast enough. And admittedly is like 3 pad tap is like a bit of a thing. Cool. Surveyor is really quite bad into Tau. Yeah, I think it starts by hitting this. Does it end? The cat on the remote server, they did swap our ice. Is not fantastic. I don't know what sort of multi-X's we're worried about, but I would consider putting Crazy on R&D just to make it look awkward. If they spend 5 on this, like, we're happy with it. But like, we have to go a bit faster because professional context overwhelms us. Is this the first 3 or 4 cycles I've rotated at this point? 4. Spin, sorry. The first cycle. Spin cycle. No, the first cycle, whatever it was called. I don't remember right now. The spin cycle, lunar cycle, and San. And later this year, they will be rotating Mumbad. There's deluxes. Yeah, it is revolver. Sick. Cool. They trashed the Crisium. So apparently that matters. I'm really not excited about putting a surveyor on the table. Out of 4 strength surveyor, they get it through for 2 credits. Like Genesis, that makes a lot of sense. It's as if they had a plan. Yeah, I don't want to put this on the table. They break it for 4 credits. Boris the Blade. I think maybe we'll just force the issue. It's all code gates, man. If they go for the flip, we're happy because then we'll probably get value on mouseless. They're just going for singles. Wow. 2 credits is not bad. That's for sure. And SDS drone deployment gets eaten by paperclip pretty well. It's like gruff when all our testing tells us to play that prison deck. They didn't run this. Wow. Considering like we could have neurospiked, I guess we couldn't have killed, but we can do something dirty. They know we have a seamless. Oof. I would actually consider if we draw an above the lot to do something about it. I'm going to put the... No, we don't want to play this. Like, it's too bad into Tau with Revolver. This is quite good. The Beth is going to ruin us. This is true. I guess we'll put this on R&D. We have very little recursion in this deck. We're not running Spin Doctor, for better or for worse. So if those 2 Crisiums go down, they go down. There's a... Okay. That's a Plongi, which means that you can use either of these to break just about anything. We'll res the mouseless. So either they break it for 4 credits or they break it for 4 credits and 3 bullets. This will flip our ability, which we're okay with. We could have advanced this once more. I don't think it's worth it, but like it makes it a bit more awkward when they know that we have 2 Neurospike in hand. All right, so they paid 4. No further action. Audacity, it's good to know. They're down to 1 credit. So our turn is flip this credit, I guess. Plongi is so hot right now. Oh, it's doing good. Yeah, I really don't want to commit to this. This is way too big of a liability. It was 5 agendas and 20 cards, 5.1% to whiff. 4 agendas, 20 card, 10.2% to whiff. When you see 8, yeah. Whiff is like it's not 2 agendas, just a single agenda. Oh, you don't see that a lot. It's a Pantograph. Proco. They have 18 cards left. Rashida goes Burr. Did I move Rashida over slightly? It looked like I did. Okay, that's a nightmare. That's bad. We put the Crisium in R&D like an absolute fool. If this is 6 strength, what do we get? 2, 4, 6 credits. Now we're playing with power. Still, they probably just Plongi this for 5 credits, right? I don't see a winning line from here. Yeah, whiff equals 0. That makes sense. I do not see a winning line from this hand. I guess. Like here, like the surveyors are really bad. Light the fire. Nice. I like it. Respect. The brain damage is not that meaningful for a while. In theory, you should pause after light the fire. I feel like they did pause a bit. So we can score this out. This is meaningful when they take the brain damage from light the fire. If they trash this, they're kind of destitute. Crisium grid first. Interesting. No trash. Cool. That tracks. If we top deck another seamless, like we have something interesting. Running HQ, okay. So they're going to use the Plongi on here. It's a 1 in 5 to be meaningful. This does get the flip. They can't really take the tag last click, so they have to break this. I'm imagining it's Plongi and 4 credits. It's just the simul chip seems like to be taxed pretty quickly between Plongis and the revolvers. But 4 credits to get through, that's good. Mouseless, Neurospike, nice. Nothing learned. All right, they're on 2 credits. So we could do seamless advance, and they could either take 2 tags or 5 meat damage. I feel like that's actually fine for us. Advance, flip. They're much too poor. How's it going? Yeah, there's a chance that advance, flip is like good enough, and that puts them in like a no-win situation. Besides the fact that we can't punish tags, I think you're right. Like this is good enough. The issue is if they get money, but I think we do advance, flip. What are we trashing here? Because next turn we could do seamless neuro. I think that's the play. So I guess we get the 3rd neuro seems a bit incredible. So we do flip neuro. Like it's either they take 2 tags, which we can't punish. It's awkward. Simul chip changes the math. If they end with 4 cards in hand, I think they're down. Of course. Okay. So we'll seamless this. So a bunch of triggers happen. Firstly, they decide to take 5 meat damage or 2 tags. They're taking the 2 tags when we have 2 clicks left. Right? Like it's wild. That's the right call. So I think we're just going to trash their board. So they swap the border control off. So this is not Ket. It's equally taxing, but less interesting. So we can do 4 damage, or we can trash their board. And I think trashing their board actually is better for us. Proco count. It's a Proco. They still have to clear the 2 tags, mind you. Like, that's not bad. It's just not game winning. If we had a boom or like a high profile target, it's also not game winning. Like, sorry, the boom would be. The high profile target, we still need 2 of them. I thought we'd go for the triple neuro there. We don't have enough clicks. Like, we just can't. Right? Like, we have to score it. So we only have 2 clicks left. HPT neuro, yeah, HPT neuro would win, but we don't have an HPT, unfortunately. They're just slamming here. We can still neuro win off the SDS. Oh, shit. I meant delay the score for next turn. I feel like they could have actually done it next turn. Like, just they're 1 overclock away, right? The fact that they put the border control on the remote, though, does make me think that they're giving up on the remote a bit. But, like, I'm worried for something here. At least we have the Chrysium. They can rotate. Oh, they could win here. They're just, like, sending it, and it's working. Like, we have to get a bit lucky here. Oh, it's an Oiler, so they break for 3. I didn't realize the Oiler came down. Audacity? I feel like the Audacity is just not worth it, right? Like, yeah, we could win on 5, but I feel like we're just not trying to get to 5. It just doesn't work with, like, any of the other neurospikes, obviously. Okay. So, this is a bit awkward. I feel like we might just want to ice up, flip. They still have 2 tags. I think we do ice up, flip. So that next turn we can do install advanced vents. But again, we just lost all our money. Double border control surveyor. Oh, man. Oh, man. SDS looks so bad. We've been playing against simul chip all day in paperclip. The issue is then we go to 1 and 4, whatever. I don't think they have the money to run this turn. Them losing the Proco seemed like a big deal. Yeah, I was worried. I was worried to hold out the remote for longer. You have about 20 cards left. They still have 2 Procos in their list. It looks like oh, the creative commission is fantastic right there for them. Do we just HPT them, or do we hope that they flip more tags? Do we ever just HPT them? Yo, chat, what do you think? Do we just HPT to do 4 damage? I feel like we do. I feel like we just HPT for 4 damage. Like, being on 0 cards seems good. It doesn't end them. Do you think they'll forget and go down to 3 cards? I feel like we just want to clear their hand out. I'm doing it. No one's saying anything. I know there's a chat delay, but I'm thinking we're just doing it. Yeah, I just want to get cards at hand. Yeah, why do you agree? Yeah, value HPD. Let's go. Yeah, I was expecting the pro code. Here's a deep dive. Ugh. Yeah, took out 1 deep dive. We took out a pro code though. That's definitely what they're setting up next turn. The issue is we didn't plan the rest of our turn. So draw, second click, lol, credit. We cannot afford our ice. All right, 1 deep dive down. Diesel, nice. Again, we have no recursion. Well, I'm just hoping to draw an asset that will give us economy. We played 1 Regolith, 1 Rashida, 2 NGO fronts. So we have like 3 or 4 more. Insane turn. Paperclip. SMC, what's hap? Why? Oh, MU. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, Sprint's kind of interesting. Well, that was not good. Oh, we're value Ozeffing in the next turn. That's for sure. Yeah, we're gonna Audacity and Ozef. It's gonna be terrible. We actually probably should just flip, install, jam this. Misdirection, nice. They went through a lot of hoops though just to install this thing. But I think now they might think we're a hard-hitting news deck. I think we're actually at a point where we consider I think we should have flipped next turn. But like we're at a point where we're getting like if we top like a seamless, we're even closer to it. It's just our money is so bad. If we advance next turn, we can do credit. We can do 4 damage. If we advance once, we'll be on 7 credits. We want 9 credits for their mode server, so I'm not going to do that. But if we top like a seamless, we can win. No, they have a full hand. Oh wait, they only have 7 hit points. Yeah, we need a. Oh, they're going for it. Legwork, sick. Oh, nice. So if we res the Hordem, they need to pull a breaker. No, I'm not gonna res the Hordem because they need to break the mouseless anyways. And it doesn't tax that. It taxes 2 credits. We res for 4. It flips us though. Are they gonna break this? They're gonna let it fire. If they let it fire, like they're floating a tag and they take a damage. Oh, excuse me, my bad. How obvious is that agenda goes in archives face down if you also ice it up on that turn? It looks like it, that's for sure. Which I'm okay with that. So now the oiler doesn't get that much value. 3 cards from hand, they're gonna see Neurospike. They've only seen Neurospikes. Hordem, Neurospike, Audacity. I think the Hordem's the only new one. Hedge fund advance flip. Do we hold out for the kill? Yeah, we do. Because we can do 6 damage. It'd be wild if they pantograph out like a Citadel or something, but I don't even think that does it. Because they have to trash their hand. No, it would do it. It would do it. Oh, not a Citadel, but a net damage thing, excuse me. If we top like a seamless, we have them this turn. Creative commission for 1 and 2. Ooh, they're running here. Okay. There's 2 3-pointers in the deck. They're on 3 cards here. So we can do advance. If this doesn't hit, if they whiff here, we win. Right? Because we do advance, score 4 damage. So we're going to just res the mouseless here. But yeah, we can win here. If they don't steal 3-pointer off the top, we win. Is the deck trying to bait out a big agenda score by the runner so it can kill the next turn? I wouldn't say it's like that well thought out, but it's just trying to like install double advance any threat. The issue though is that we don't have enough money to do that. Yeah, with 3 cards, we can do this. The issue is that if they hit the 5/3 off the top of the deck. Oh, they also get paperclip down here. Maybe I should hit the encounter button. Yeah, so it's basically if they hit the 2, they have a 1 in 9 chance to win. Oh, it's an awesome. They can't rearrange the ice meaningfully. They could install. They installed a card, so they have less cards in hand now. There's nothing that they can draw cards with. Yeah, we have it. We have our first Ozef kill. Border? Do we have a border on that remote server? On that server? Wait, actually, do we have a border there? No, we didn't have a border there. We didn't have a border there. Advance. Score. Trash. That does 2 damage. Neurospike. Oh, we did it. Good game. Good game. That was a fun one. Finally. We would have actually got through what's it called? In theory, what's it called? We could have got through Onicom because they drew to the end of their deck really aggressively. Value HPT was the play. Yeah, we didn't have a border control there, did we? I don't think we did. You could have popped it for the last run. Border control only works on the server they were running, and I don't think we had a border control here, did we? Because this you can only use this ability during a run on this server, so we can't use the remote server border control to run and the R&D run. I just shuffled shit. But yeah, the only thing that would have lost there is the 2 5/3s now they're at the bottom of the deck. But otherwise, yeah, we didn't have that many agendas, 5 agendas. But again, it was only 3 pointed that mattered there in the last click. Yeah, they moved it to the remote a while ago. They pulled it off there like on the first or second score, but that was a close game. I don't think we can score out. The huge issue with this deck is liquidity. There is a chance like the Earth Station ability does seem relevant, but maybe if we were just more aggressive and we had more money with maybe by just like we have a lot of advanceable cards. Like maybe we could just play Built to Last. Maybe we can just play Argus to slow them down. Like and take incidental damage. Like I think there's a bunch of options here. But that's in theory what it is. Like I think Ozef as a 3/2, it's fine. It's good. On 5 points, it's good enough. But like Install Advance on Ozef abstractly does present damage. The issue though is like it's bite-sized damage, and a world with I'd have worse than Onicom, like I think there's a chance that every single matchup you play at a tournament that could be useless. Like all your Anarchs have I've had worse currently before rotation. Half the Criminals have Onicom, half the Shapers have Onicom. I think Ozef Jemison Neurospike is a concept. Yo, Ren, good game. Yo, how's it? Yeah, firstly, I haven't really considered it too much in Jemison. I think at the end of the day, like just scoring this out with extra clicks left is just not good enough, right? Right? Like if you score this out fast advance with the, you know, the Oberth and all the tricks that you could possibly have, the end of the day is like you're doing 2 meat damage and then 2 net and then 2 net and then maybe 2 net. And like still trying to get an I've had worse or still getting through an Onicom is like, you're still jumping through a lot of hoops, like a lot of hoops. I think just install advancing might be good enough. Maybe you could score multiple agendas, like score 2 Ozefs in a turn. That'd be fun. Then you Neurospike for 4. Maybe you can do that in Jemison more than anything else. Wicked game. Anywho, I think that's gonna be it for this week. Yeah, it's past midnight. The lights are gonna turn off soon. That's largely it. Again, there's an event going on in Montreal this Saturday. So if you want to play some Netrunner, add the Silver Goblin starting at noon. Ozef Gargarin feels very strong, but Gargarin is just very strong. Yeah, install advancing a Gargarin makes sense. And also, I think the things that you can do with Ozef that we haven't explored are like Urban Renewal, to some extent also like doing some sort of damage with that Weyland advanceable card from System Gateway I never remember the name of when it matters. And then like fast advancing from hand. Like I think that's an option too. Even just jamming enough snares, like maybe they hit that and then you Audacity one out. Like there are some options. I just feel like it's a bit clumsier and a bit inconsistent. Yeah, Urban Renewal, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's very threatening and win some games. I believe that. Urban Renewal is just good enough. Like 4 damage. If you get I've had worse, like they can still do stuff. Salem's, I think, actually seems pretty reasonable right now for many reasons. Anywho, I think that's it for now. Huge shout outs to everyone who played games with. You're in, good game. Everyone hung out here in chat or watching the VOD. Hopefully you're doing well. We'll be back in a week again. Saturday, there's an event going on in Montreal. It's Silver Goblin, which is just at the Place Station. It's like a 2-minute walk. It's really pleasant out tonight. Hopefully it'll be on the weekend as well. Huge shout out to Nisei for sending a sick package. Thank you. I appreciate it. A lot of really nice stuff. I feel a bit spoiled. And that's largely it. We'll be back in a week. Hopefully you take care of yourself. Before you take off, got a note. Peel or not to peel? I don't know. Hold on. I don't know. Bushi, Boomerang, Token, Netrunner. That's a good question. Thanks for streaming, Tobal. My pleasure. Is Bushi with 3 O's? I feel like it's always more O's than I think it is. Search Reddit. Boomerang counter. I don't know. We'll find out. I'll let you know for sure. But we need to find out. I've seen pictures before, so I can look at the picture and see whether it has a black back or not. I'm expecting not, but I don't want to damage it. All right. Take care, y'all.